Chapter 654. While the ultimate sword Dao had stripped Xing Hui of his defensive abilities, it had also bestowed Xing Hui with unparalleled offensive capabilities. However, it was clear that there was no need for Feng Xingjian to deliberately use his divine ability, Light Pursuit, and slash out streams of sunlight sword to deal with the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord. Feng Xingjian's divine ability, which had reached level 142, combined with the Thorn Mystic Art, set the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord's mental world ablaze. Brilliant and blazing sword light incinerated the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord's mental world, causing the Heavenly Phenomenon Realm expert, who had just displayed the prowess of his divine weapon, to cry out in agony. His body, which had soared into the air, plummeted toward the Heavenly Dao's flying artifact at an extremely fast speed. Seeing the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord fall, the many True Energy Realm, Transcendent Realm, Endless Realm, and Golden Core Realm cultivators who were maintaining the operation of the warship cried out in alarm. What's going on? Why did the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord suddenly? A sneak attack. A sneak attack. The Thunder Punishment Dao Lord has fallen into a sneak attack. Everyone, hurry up and help the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord. Activate the Star Destroyer main cannon and kill the enemy. After a series of panicked shouts, a total of 12 spots on the warship began to glow with dazzling light. Among them, the main cannon at the very front was overflowing with flowing light. The energy waves it emitted were so strong that they were not inferior to the Scarlet Sun Demon God's attack. This warship is not bad. It's a pity. Xing Hui's gaze swept across the warship. Then, he pressed down with his hand, and his sword aura descended. Immediately, all the crew members operating the warship, from the Golden Core Realm vice-captain and helmsman to the ordinary gunners and employees, felt an irresistible, blazing sun blast into their spiritual world. Endless light carried with it a resplendent light that could burn the heavens and boil the seas, illuminating their spiritual world brilliantly. After the brilliance, there was a blank space. It was like the blankness of a mortal looking directly at a nuclear explosion. In the eyes of outsiders, everyone on the warship had instantly lost all signs of life. Their divine souls were like candles in the wind, extinguished with a blow. The warship, which had been emitting powerful energy waves and filled with deadly aura, quickly sank with the deaths of all the people on board. The energy waves of the flowing light dimmed, and even the hull of the warship could no longer maintain stability in the void. The front of the warship lowered slightly, and then tilted and fell to the ground. Ah! Sword force, this is sword force. Furthermore, to possess such sword intent. You are definitely not as simple as an ordinary almighty. Who are you? At this moment, the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord forcefully pulled himself together and shouted at Xing Hui as he looked at the falling battleship. However, Xing Hui ignored the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord. When he destroyed the Heavenly Dao and was almost killed by Daoist Master He Tian, the enmity between him and the Heavenly Dao had already been formed. Coupled with the battle between the Heavenly Dao and the Celestial Vault, and his position as a member of the Celestial Vault, there was no possibility of compromise between him and the Heavenly Dao. Thus, no matter what, it was impossible for the Lightning Punishment Dao Lord to leave alive after falling into his hands. It was just a matter of how much value he could squeeze out of him before he died. Swoosh! Xing Hui clenched his fist, and circles of space rippled from the bottom of the Star Destroyer warship. This was the opening of his personal space. The huge body of the Star Destroyer that was slowly falling was instantly swallowed by the flickering space ripples. Qing Su had no intention of letting go of a warship that possessed such great firepower and was not exactly slow either. At least with this warship in hand, it would be easy for the cultivators in the Eastern Wilderness to travel between the Heaven Wasteland world and the Eastern Wilderness world. With a speed of 5,000 kilometers per hour, they would be able to travel between the Eastern Wilderness and the Heaven Wasteland world in 2 months. Furthermore, the warship's secondary cannons and main cannons were so powerful that they would not be inferior to a powerful figure's attack. After all, although the sea region between the eastern wilderness and the heaven wasteland world was dangerous and there were many overlords of the sea region, most of these overlord-level ferocious beasts and even divine beasts were limited to level 7 to level 10. There were very few level 11 and level 12 beasts. Even if they really encountered them, the warship would be able to hold on for a period of time and ask Xing Hui for help in time. Then, Xing Hui would be able to rush over and kill the spirit beasts and divine beasts. Who exactly are you? I am the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord of the Heavenly Tao. If you dare to harm me, you will have to be prepared to suffer the wrath of the Heavenly Tao. The Thunder Punishment Tao Lord seemed to have vaguely guessed that he would be in a difficult situation. As he forced himself to stay awake, he tried to think of a way to communicate with the Chaos Divine Palace. However, his spiritual world had been severely damaged by Xing Hui's sword intent. At this moment, he could not concentrate on communicating with the Chaos Divine Palace. He was only able to stay awake because of his strong willpower. Furthermore, he had to divert his attention to prevent Xing Hui from discovering his true intentions. After trying for a while, he was unable to enter the Chaos Divine Palace. Xing Hui's gaze landed on the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. A bright light flashed in his eyes, and two beams of sword intent shot out from his eyes and shot into the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord's spiritual world. Immediately, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord, whose spiritual world had been shattered by Xing Hui's sword intent, let out a miserable cry. Blood flowed out of his 7 orifices and he fainted on the spot. Xing Hui waved his hand and brought the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord into his personal space. Swish! With a turn of his body, Xing Hui took a step forward, and the Sky Splitter appeared under his feet. Without needing to use any divine ability, Xing Hui could easily break through the sound barrier by flying at full speed on his sword. As waves of umbrella-shaped clouds exploded behind him, the Bieli mountain range appeared in his field of vision once again. Rumble! A terrifying wind pressure mixed with a deafening roar exploded above the Bieli mountain range. Su Fei, Su Qiubai, and the many guards in the Bieli mountain range became anxious after hearing the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord shout. Xing Hui's figure appeared in the storm. Senior Dong Yang, it's Senior Dong Yang. Senior Dong Yang is here. Upon seeing Xing Hui, Su Fei and Su Qiubai heaved a sigh of relief. Su Qiubai could not wait to ask Xing Hui, who was in the void, Senior Dong Yang, did you hear the voice that almost spread across half of the Conli continent? Xing Hui did not answer. Instead, he turned to Su Fei and asked, do you have anyone who's good at interrogation? Su Fei was worried about the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. When he heard Xing Hui's question, he was slightly startled. Then, he quickly said, yes. There's a master torturer in the Bieli mountain range. There are also 2 in the Heavens Will Palace. Transfer the 2 from the Heavens Will Palace over. As for this one, we'll talk about it later. After saying that, Xing Hui descended. He completely ignored everyone's attitude and directly threw Hunting Wolf and the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord out of his space. By now, the Hunting Wolf had already woken up. After seeing Qing Su, not only did he show no fear, his eyes became vicious instead. The dust cleansing rock is on me. You definitely won't dare to kill me, and our great lord, the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord, has already arrived. Once the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord arrives, it'll be the day all of you die. All I need to do is endure your torture, and once the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord arrives, I'll repay you 10-fold, 100-fold, of all the pain you've inflicted on me. Following Hunting Wolf's words, the guards who served Su Fei and Su Qiubai all revealed expressions of fear. Back when the Heavens Will Palace had conquered the Conli continent, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord had led many experts to guard the Conli continent. Only after they had dug up most of the dust-leaving stone did they leave one by one. Due to the short period of time, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord's tyrannical power, and the fact that Su Fei had only been in control of the Heavens Will Palace for a few years, the Heavens Will Palace's influence had not completely dissipated. When they heard Hunting Wolf's words, the guards immediately became restless. Some of them even looked at Su Fei and Su Qiubai with eager gazes. It was as if they wanted to capture the two of them alive and hand them over to the Thunder Punishment Downlord who was about to arrive so that they could atone for their crimes and even fight for a future. The Thunder Punishment Downlord? Tsing Hui glanced at the unconscious Thunder Punishment Downlord lying beside Hunting Wolf and said indifferently, "Are you still dreaming that the Thunder Punishment Downlord can save you? Take a good look at the person beside you." Hunting Wolf glanced at the Thunder Punishment Downlord beside him and frowned. "What are you trying to do? Are you using others to threaten me?" I'm telling you, that's impossible. According to the Thunder Punishment Downlord's voice, he'll arrive here in half an hour if he's fast. I advise you to let me go obediently and return the Kongli continent to the great Thunder Punishment Downlord. When the time comes, I might be able to put in a good word for you in front of the Thunder Punishment Downlord. Otherwise. Tsing Hui glanced at Hunting Wolf and shook his head after a moment. He was overthinking. What right did a mere spirit-uniting realm cultivator have to meet the Thunder Punishment Downlord? Senior, do you think we should avoid him for a while? That's the Thunder Punishment Downlord. Su Qiubai asked in a soft voice. Avoid him? Tsing Hui sneered. His gaze landed on a man with a cold aura who was brought in by a guard. Sir, Poison Scorpion is here. The guard reported to Su Fei with a worried expression. Come here and interrogate him. See if there are any other experts in hiding besides the Thunder Punishment Downlord. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he flicked his finger and a sword intent shot into the Thunder Punishment Downlord's mind. Immediately, the unconscious Thunder Punishment Downlord screamed and woke up from the pain. Yes. Poison Scorpion was only a master of interrogation and did not have a high status. Naturally, Su Fei did not dare to slight Tsing Hui. Ah, who are you? Who are you? The Thunder Punishment Downlord roared in pain after waking up. When they heard the Thunder Punishment Downlord's voice, which was obviously the same as the voice that had spread across half of the Kongli continent, Su Fei, Su Qiubai, the guards, and Hunting Wolf, who was waiting for the Thunder Punishment Downlord to save him, were all stunned. This voice, Su Qiubai, who reacted quickly, immediately thought of what Tsing Hui had said. See if there were any other experts in hiding besides the Thunder Punishment Downlord. When she thought of this, she could not help but scream in disbelief, Thunder Punishment Downlord. Thunder Punishment Downlord. This person is the Thunder Punishment Downlord. Chapter 655. The Lightning Punishment Downlord. At this moment, Su Fei also quivered. His gaze suddenly landed on the Thunder Punishment Downlord. After staring at him for a moment, his eyes suddenly widened. The Heavenswell Palace has an image left behind by the Thunder Punishment Downlord. There are even some clear portraits circulating. It's him, it's him, it's him. He's the Lightning Punishment Downlord. How long has it been since the Lightning Punishment Downlord was captured alive? The Lightning Punishment Downlord was one of the most influential Downlords on the Kongli continent, and his portraits were widely circulated. Many of the guards had thought that the Lightning Punishment Downlord looked familiar, but they hadn't dared to associate him with the mighty existence who had suppressed the entire Kongli continent. Now that Su Fei had reminded them, they immediately recognized the man before them. Who else could he be but the Lightning Punishment Downlord? At that moment, all the panicking guards looked at Qing Su. When they thought about how the Lightning Punishment Downlord who had been making a fuss earlier had actually been reduced to a prisoner by this senior Dongyang, they could not help but gasp. Downlord, Hunting Wolf, who'd placed all his hopes on the Lightning Punishment Downlord and thought that Dongyang might be able to save him, crumbled instantly. I'll leave it to you. Tsing Hui said to Poison Scorpion before heading to the nearby courtyard. Qiubai, you'll supervise him personally. Su Fei instructed Su Qiubai before following Tsing Hui to the courtyard. At this moment, the people of the Su family no longer had any doubts towards Qing Su. They were all overjoyed. Even an invincible existence like the lightning punishment Tao Lord had been swiftly captured by Senior Dong Yang. What else did they have to fear? My lord, Hunting Wolf has taken out all the supreme-grade dust cleansing stones. Xing Hui waited for less than 10 minutes before Su Qiubai came to report. Good. Bring him here. Xing Hui ordered. Before long, Hunting Wolf was escorted by 2 guards to Xing Hui. Hunting Wolf's body was covered in wounds, and his eyes were filled with fear. When he saw Xing Hui, he immediately begged for mercy and handed over all the supreme-grade dust cleansing stones. Very good. Qing Su counted. There were exactly the same number of supreme-grade dust cleansing stones. It was exactly the 1,084 cubic meters that had gone missing. After storing all the peerless-grade dust-leaving stones into his personal storage space, Xing Hui waved his hand and let Su Qiubai deal with the Hunting Wolf. What about the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord? Has he given us any instructions? He still doesn't want to talk, but he said that he wants to see you. You want to see me? Qing Su did not need to think too much to guess what the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord wanted to say to him. He immediately said, if he really wants to guard this secret to the death, then let him guard it. I'd like to see just how resolute the wills of the people of the Heavenly Tao are. After he finished speaking, he sent a portion of his consciousness into the Primal Chaos Shrine. Then, he arrived in the Sky Dome realm and found Venerable Firmament. Xing Hui. How are things going in the Conli continent? It went quite well. The Thunder Punishment Tao Lord is the only chess piece that the Heavenly Tao has set out. I've already captured him. You captured the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord alive? Venerable Firmament suddenly stood up. We've been fighting with the Heavenly Tao and the Heavenly Tao both openly and covertly. Apart from killing 2 almighties in the God's punishment realm, we haven't really caused any substantial damage to the Heavenly Tao or the forces that the Heavenly Tao has roped in. Now, a Tao Lord has fallen into your hands, that's right. I want to know the Heavenly Tao's true attitude. Attitude. Venerable Firmament immediately weighed the pros and cons of this matter. After a while, his gaze became resolute. The Heavenly Tao is destined to not let the Heavenly Tao off. Therefore, there will be a life-and-death battle between us. I understand. I have an idea. Speak. The most terrifying thing about the Heavenly Tao is their array formation. If the Heavenly Tao continues to hide in their base, I'm afraid that we won't be able to completely destroy them even if Venerable Zhuzhao breaks through to the vacuum-shattering realm. Therefore, we might as well surround them and attack them. Venerable Firmament immediately understood. You want to use the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord as a bait to lure the Heavenly Tao to send experts to save him? That's right. Xing Hui nodded. Since there will be a life-and-death battle between us and the Heavenly Tao sooner or later, why don't we take action earlier? First, we'll do our best to lure enough experts to kill them and weaken them. This way, when we truly fight the Heavenly Tao, our chances of victory will be higher. Venerable Firmament looked at Xing Hui with a trace of inquiry in his eyes. But if we do that, I'm afraid that you'll be in a dangerous situation. Xing Hui smiled, but his expression was rather relaxed. Venerable Firmament should know my strength. As long as the Heavenly Tao doesn't turn out in full force, I won't be afraid of them. Venerable Firmament pondered for a moment and finally nodded. Alright, I'll discuss this with Shadow Sword and the Rainbow Sword sect. We'll mobilize the spies we've hidden in the Heavenly Tao and form a huge intelligence network. Once the Heavenly Tao or the Divine Path sect under their control shows signs of turning out in full force, or if the Chaos Tao Master makes any move, we'll inform you immediately. At the same time, I'll form an alliance with Shadow Sword and the Rainbow Sword sect and prepare at least 3 Divine Saints. We'll also contact the Void Walker of Shadow Sword. If you encounter any danger, we'll immediately ask the Void Walker to bring us to the Conli continent to support you. That's great. Tsing Hui nodded. After discussing this matter with Venerable Firmament, Tsing Hui's consciousness returned to his body. At the same time, he said to Su Fei, "Bring the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord here." "Yes, Senior." Su Fei responded. Soon, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord was brought to Tsing Hui after some torture. When he saw Tsing Hui again, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord's eyes seemed to spit fire. He glared at Tsing Hui and said, "Believe me, you'll die. You'll definitely die. Is this what you wanted to say to me?" Tsing Hui looked at the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. "Or do you think that the interrogation method just now was nothing to you? I'll endure it. When the time comes, I'll personally see you walk into hell. Is that so?" "I'll wait for that day to come," Tsing Hui said indifferently. Then, he turned to Su Fei and said, "Spread the news that I've captured the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord, one of the 36 Tao Lords of the Heavenly Tao. At least, let the Heavenly Tao's spies on the Kongli continent know. Spread the news." Su Fei was slightly taken aback. A Tao Lord of the Heavenly Tao had fallen into their hands. Logically speaking, shouldn't they try to hide the news as much as possible before the people of the Heavenly Tao could react? Then, they would destroy the Kongli continent and take away all the dust-cleansing stones. Why was it that the senior wanted to deliberately let the people of the Heavenly Tao know? Just do as I say. However, when you spread the news, you must use some tricks. You must make others think that I wanted to use the matter of capturing the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord to intimidate the surrounding juniors. That's why I deliberately spread the news. However, the reason why I was able to capture the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord alive was because I took advantage of the Lightning Punishment Tao Lord's carelessness to launch a sneak attack. In truth, I am merely an ordinary almighty existence. Senior, are you trying to put on a brave front? That's right. Tsing Hui nodded approvingly. As for the sneering Thunder Punishment Tao Lord, he seemed to think of something as his expression changed. What are you trying to do? Tsing Hui swept a glance at the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. Don't you think that your Heavenly Tao has many experts and will definitely send someone to save you? In that case, I'll do as you wish. Although I've captured saints before, I've never killed anyone. I hope that the saints sent by the Heavenly Tao to save you won't be too weak. Captured saints. When the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord thought of the tragic situation where he had been severely injured by the other party's sword intent, he immediately believed most of what Tsing Hui said. Instantly, he could not help but growl. Who are you? What is your identity? What is your goal? My Heavenly Tao is one of the strongest factions in the Divine Wilderness. We have countless experts. Ignoring the direct Divine Realm experts, there are many Divine Realm experts who secretly work for our Heavenly Tao. There are more than 10 of them, yet you dare to provoke our Heavenly Tao. Who gave you the guts? Divine Wilderness? Or Eternity? 10 saints. Tsing Hui knew that the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord was not joking. There were more than 10 saints from the Divine Tao sect in the Heavenly Tao, not to mention the saints who secretly sided with the Heavenly Tao. However, there was no fear on his face. It's fine. One by one. I'm not in a hurry. I reckon that once news of me spreads, your Heavenly Tao will first send Tao Lords. After this wave of Tao Lords is killed by me, they will realize the seriousness of the problem and send saints. However, after I kill the saints of your Heavenly Tao, I will have dug up most of the dust-cleansing stones here. At that time, whether you leave or stay, or whether you live or die, will all depend on my mood. Anisrava Tao's sovereign will not fall for your trick. He will definitely calculate your true goal. When the time comes, he will send a large number of experts to swarm you and kill you here. Then let's see if he can react in time. Tsing Hui waved his hand. Immediately, Su Fei sent people to bring the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord away. Force him to hand over the Chaos Mantra as well as the divine weapons on him as soon as possible. Tsing Hui said. Yes, Senior. Su Fei respectfully responded, looking at Xing Hui with eyes full of awe. What kind of terrifying monster was the Heavenly Tao? Back then, the Heavenly Tao was the dominant force on the Kongli continent. Even the divine wilderness and eternity that came to compete with them for the right to rule the Kongli continent were defeated by them. As a result, they eventually occupied the resources of the Kongli continent for hundreds of years and dug up almost all the resources on the Kongli continent. And now, Senior Dong Yang, whom he served, seemed to treat the Heavenly Tao as nothing and even said that he would kill the Heavenly Tao sovereign. Just thinking about it made one's blood boil. What did the Su family have to fear if they could follow such a supreme expert who did not even care about saints? When the time comes, as long as this senior gave them a little guidance, the entire Su family would definitely soar. Even if they were to leave the Kongli continent and step onto the wider stage of Heaven Wasteland, it would not be an extravagant hope. Chapter 656. Golden Conch Island. It was an island less than 1.8 million kilometers away from the Kongli continent. Strictly speaking, that distance was still within the range of the Kongli continent's dust-repellent stone. However, since it was still almost 2 million kilometers away, the dust-repellent stone's influence over the area was greatly reduced, to the point that even if a mighty being's clone descended here, it would not affect them much. At this moment, in a palace on Golden Conch Island, an almighty with a slightly pale face descended. Around the palace, the three green netherworld realm experts who controlled the life and death of millions of people on Golden Conch Island all knelt on the ground and looked respectfully at the pale-faced man. Their eyes were filled with awe. "All right, you may leave." "Yes, high gods. The three of us will be outside and will be at your disposal at any time." The three green netherworld realm cultivators answered respectfully. They did not even dare to look at the Almighty and quickly left. As the three green hell realm cultivators left, the almighty figure with a pale face waved his hand. In the next moment, a space door that was clearly opened by himself appeared. As the space door opened, a figure carrying a huge sword that was as tall as a person strode out with large strides. Behind him, there were 4 people following closely behind. Apart from the 4 of them, there were hundreds and thousands of cultivators ranging from the true energy realm to the golden core realm that were continuously walking out of the space door. Seeing the middle-aged man leading the group, even though the man who opened his personal space was an almighty, he immediately lowered his head to show his respect. "Greetings, Sky Splitter Supreme God." Sky Splitter Supreme God was one of the 9 supreme gods in the divine wilderness. He was ranked second and his position in the divine wilderness was equivalent to Flawless Holy Man of the Heavenly Tao. However, unlike Flawless Holy Man who was proficient in formations and calculations, Sky Splitter Supreme God's position in the second place was completely based on his own abilities. In terms of combat strength, he was definitely second only to the top 10 supreme experts. Even Sword Master Bai Heng, who was qualified to be one of the top 10 supreme experts, might not be much stronger than Sky Splitter Supreme God. I didn't expect Sky Splitter Supreme God to personally lead the team this time. This batch of dust-repellent stones can be said to be free. The pale-faced man said with a smile. "Dong Dong, go and rest." Divine Sovereign Sky Splitter's voice was as loud as thunder. All right. With Sky Splitter leading the group and the top experts like Qi Wuming, Hurricane, Xue Xiao, and Luo Huanghun assisting us, unless the Heaven Dao or Divine Dao sect comes out in full force, otherwise, there'll surely be no match for us. Dong Dong forced a smile. "I still have to see you when I get back." "All right, you should go and rest." Sky Splitting Hierarch waved his hand. Even Sky Splitter Supreme God had to show some respect to the Voidwalker. After all, the current divine wilderness was different from the ancient times. In the ancient times, raising one's personal space to the 10th order could be said to be for the sake of world creation. But now, let alone world creation, even the Saint Realm had become an extravagant hope for many people. Under such circumstances, raising one's personal space to the 10th order was basically a waste of the primal chaos grade, and it was also a suicide mission. It was for this reason that the number of Voidwalkers was so small, and thus the Voidwalkers had a high status in every faction. When Sky Splitter Supreme God asked Dong Dong to go and rest, Chi Wuming had already soared into the sky and released a large warship. This warship was slightly inferior to the Thunder Punishment Daelord's warship in terms of might and majesty, but it was still better than most of the warships on the market. After releasing this warship, the thousands of Saint Realm cultivators who had been transported from Dong Dong's personal space directly stepped onto the warship without needing any instructions, and they quickly got into position to operate it. After Sky Splitter Supreme God and the other almighty figures stepped onto the warship, Sky Splitter Supreme God took a step forward and his voice reverberated like thunder throughout the entire warship. I don't need to say anything unnecessary. We've received news that a huge mineral vein has been discovered on the Kongli continent. This mineral vein contains thousands of dust-repellent stones with Dao rhymes, and the number of dust-repellent stones alone is estimated to be as large as 4,000 cubes. A few hundred years ago, we fought with the Heavenly Dao over the Kongli continent because the Heavenly Dao had set up a large formation on the Kongli continent, causing us to return in defeat. But this time, the location of the dust-repellent stones is far away from where the Heavenly Dao had set up the formation, so my mission is very simple. Dig out all the dust-repellent stones in this mine as quickly as possible, and anyone who stands in our way shall die. Understood. Everyone on the warship responded in unison. Let's go. Sky Splitter Supreme God waved his hand fiercely, and amidst a roar, the warship shook slightly and gradually accelerated. Soon, it rose into the clouds, broke through the wind and waves, and disappeared from everyone's sight. At the same time, on an island less than 100 kilometers in diameter, about 600,000 kilometers to the west of Golden Conch Island, a Voidwalker also descended. With the arrival of this Voidwalker, his personal space opened, and a total of more than 3,000 people leaped out of this personal space. Among these 3,000 people, there were 2 people leading and 3 people assisting. If the people standing here at this moment were Firmament Master, Zunjin Master, Yuanri Master, or other veteran experts who were familiar with the experts of Heaven Wasteland domain, they would definitely be able to recognize that the 2 leaders of these 3,000 people were the Brilliant Sun Emperor and Black Light Emperor of Eternity. In Eternity, those who could be crowned with the title of Emperor were all powerhouses of the Saint Realm. The Way of the Heavens wants to deceive everyone by sending a Thunder Punishment Daoist Master to the Kongli continent on the pretext of avenging his junior. How could they not know that they are simply deceiving themselves? Now that the Heaven Wasteland domain is in a precarious situation, no matter how furious the Way of the Heavens is towards the Kongli continent, they would at most send a few experts of the Golden Core realm over there. Why would they send a Daoist Master? The Brilliant Sun Emperor had a mocking smile on his face. The Heavenly Dao is being too smart for their own good. They thought that we would not overlook this detail, but how could they have thought that a Daoist Master would suddenly leave during such a sensitive period? How could it not arouse the suspicion of others? Moreover, the Heavenly Dao, the Divine Wilderness, Eternity, and even the other forces, which one of them do not have spies in each other? We only need to mobilize our spies to investigate a little and we will know where the problem lies. In addition, we have not given up spying on the Kongli continent and have left some seeds of the Immortality realm to continue searching for the dust-cleansing stones in the Kongli continent. Now that this matter has broken out, how could we not have received any news? Emperor Black Light nodded as well. Alright, in order to avoid any unexpected changes, we should hurry over. Otherwise, the people of the Heavenly Dao will set up an array formation at that mine. Once they set up the array formation, even if it's only the Thunder Punishment Dao Lord, it will be very troublesome. The Brilliant Sun Emperor said. Emperor Black Light nodded. Then, the group of people boarded a large warship and quickly rushed into the clouds, disappearing without a trace. Based on the speed of their warship, it would only take 3 or 4 days to reach the Kongli continent. As the people of the divine wilderness and eternity rushed to the Kongli continent, the heavenly Tao also received news that the Thunder Punishment Taoist master had been captured. When this news reached the ears of the flawless Tao master, who was currently presiding over the heavenly Tao, he could not help but be slightly taken aback. The next moment, he immediately gave an order, and immediately, information from the divine wilderness, eternity, Grand Supreme, Sword Shadow, Celestial Vault, and other forces gathered in a steady stream, quickly filling up his desk. After gathering all the information and using the deduction art to calculate, the flawless Tao master's expression turned somewhat ugly. "The problem lies with Celestial Vault," the flawless Taoist master muttered to himself. Under the effect of the deduction art, the information was quickly organized and summarized. Celestial Vault, Illumination, Divine Ghost Sect, Khanate Charm, Rainbow Sword Sect, Fourth Sword Master. When all the information was gathered together, it already pointed to another truth. Zhu Zhao and the others got a mysterious sword saint from the White Rainbow Sword Sect to cooperate with the innate divine charm they obtained from the Divine Ghost Sect. They didn't give it to esteemed Zhu Zhao to speed up his recovery. Instead, they gave it to the Firmament Swordsman, who had a level 17 divine weapon, to condense the domain origin and step into the divine realm. It was because he stepped into the divine realm that the White Rainbow Sword Sect had a fourth sword master, which led to the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord being captured. The flawless Tao master's mind constantly flickered with inspiration. After a while, he frowned again. According to the information he received, the fourth sword master of the Rainbow Sword Sect seemed to be a man called Xing Hui, and this person was secretly accepted as a disciple by esteemed Illumination. However, when he thought of the information he had obtained from the simple investigation of Xing Hui, this person had cultivated for less than 40 years. 40 years, no matter how high his talent was, it was impossible for him to become a sword master. Therefore, this should be a smoke screen jointly released by the Celestial Vault and the Rainbow Sword Sect. The Celestial Vault Swordmaster. The radiance in the flawless Tao Master's eyes gradually sharpened. The Celestial Vault Swordmaster wields a 17 divine weapon. Once he condenses his domain and steps into the divine stage, he will definitely become a second-tier existence. Even if I want to defeat him, I can only rely on my calculations and experience. Therefore, if the heavenly axiom really rashly sends the divine swordmaster to rescue the Thunder Punishment Taoist master, he will be trapped there. Since he wants to rely on the secret of his breakthrough into the divine stage to plot against the heavenly axiom, then, I will let him get what he wants. I will beat him at his own game. I will use the Void Sky Taoist Master as well as the Black Heaven Taoist Master and the Hunyuan Taoist Master as bait. Then, I will send the Divine Sword Master to kill this person. After a brief calculation, the flawless Tao Master came to a decision. He said to the door, "Ask the Styx River Holy Man, Zhurong Holy Man, Wuxia Holy Man and Qin Wei Holy Man to come and see me." The Styx River Holy Man and the Zhurong Holy Man were respectively the third and fourth Grand Tao Masters of the Heavenly Axiom. These two people had frightening powers that could barely be classified as second-tier Divine Swordmasters. If the Wuxia Holy Man and the Qin Wei Holy Man were included, the power of the four Tao Masters combined was not inferior to the battle of the five Divine Swordmasters against the Illumination. Chapter 657. Xing Hui, I just received news that Eternal's Brilliant Sun Emperor, Black Light Emperor, and Divine Wilderness's Sky Splitter Supreme God announced that they were in closed-door cultivation 2 days ago and disappeared without a trace. They are most likely heading for the Kongli continent. Furthermore, the Heavenly Way is also restless. The Anisrava Holy Man has secretly summoned the Styx River Holy Man, Zhurong Holy Man, Wuxia Holy Man, and Qin Wei Holy Man. If I'm not wrong, they must be heading for you. You need to retreat quickly. As Xing Hui patiently waited for the Heavenly Way to take the bait, the Firmament Master hurriedly contacted him in the Chaos Temple and brought him this news. For Divine Sages. Xing Hui frowned. The current situation in the infinite wasteland is not stable. The heavenly way sent 4 divine sages at once. Such a huge movement should have been carried out secretly. How did we find out? It's news from the Shadow Sword. The Firmament Master said, the Shadow Sword has always been mysterious. They have very secretive spies in the heavenly way, divine wilderness, and eternity. In terms of information channels, I'm afraid that other than the Divine Mysteries Pavilion, no other power can compare to them. 4 divine sages. Tsing Hui's eyes flashed. I want to try. Don't underestimate the 4 great divine saints of the heavenly way. Furthermore, other than the 4 great divine saints of the heavenly way, you have to pay attention to the sky-splitting divine master. The sky-splitting divine master is the closest to the ultimate stage in the divine stage. He was once ranked among the ultimate stage, but was later replaced by the Jade Emperor Holy Man. I remember that you fought with the Sword Master Bai Heng before. More than 40 years ago, the Rainbow Sword sect had a conflict with the Divine Wilderness because of a Tao item. One of the Rainbow Sword sect's powerful figures was chased to the ends of the earth by the Divine Wilderness. At that time, Bai Heng appeared and defeated the pursuers of the Divine Wilderness. Then, he faced off against Sky Splitter Supreme God and lost by a narrow margin. That powerful figure had no choice but to give up the Tao item to save his life. Bai Heng lost by a narrow margin. Tsing Hui's expression turned solemn. He'd fought Sword Master Bai Heng before. Based on the level he'd attained when he'd cultivated sword force, he could only barely suppress Sword Master Bai Heng. Only after consuming the infinite Tao fruit did he dare to say that he was confident in defeating Sword Master Bai Heng. Of course, this was under the condition that Sword Master Bai Heng hadn't concealed his strength. For Divine Sovereign Skysplitting to be able to defeat Sword Master Bai Heng, even if the other party was weaker than him, it wouldn't be much weaker. At that time, as long as he had another divine being by his side to assist him, the difference in strength would immediately change. Tsing Hui, if you plan on tangling with those 4 divine beings, then we'll have to take action on our side. The Divine Tao sect has an outpost on the Karma Peak 6,000 kilometers away from the Rainbow Sword sect. Because that outpost has a 12-order array and a divine being personally overseeing it, they've always been monitoring the Rainbow Sword sect. They've completely nailed down Sword Master Pengguang of the Rainbow Sword sect, preventing him from easily leaving. This time, we'll take advantage of the fact that the majority of the Heavenly Tao's strength has been projected onto the Karma Peak. We'll join forces with the Rainbow Sword sect and Sword Shadow to attack the Divine Tao sect's Karma Peak. We'll uproot the Karma Peak and even kill the Divine Tao sect's Karma Peak in one fell swoop, freeing the Rainbow Sword sect's forces. Master Firmament said in a deep voice. Tsing Hui immediately understood what Master Firmament meant and said, "Don't worry, Master Firmament, I'll think of a way to delay the 4 divine beings of the Heavenly Tao. I won't let them rush to the Karma Peak so easily." Yes, on the Heavenly Tao's side, the Chaos Taoist Master is still in closed-door training and can't move. The leakless Holy Man also needs to oversee the situation and can't move unless something major happens. It's said that the Li Hen Holy Man hasn't returned to the Heavenly Tao yet and is still trapped in the void. Of the 8 holy men, only the Tai Emperor Holy Man can be mobilized. Even if the Divine Tao sect can send 3 divine beings as reinforcements, with the strength of Master Firmament, Rainbow Sword sect, and Sword Shadow, will be able to flatten them in one fell swoop. Therefore, as long as you can delay the 4 divine beings for a period of time, we'll definitely win the battle on the Karma Peak. However, if that's the case, we'll probably have to wage an all-out war with the Heavenly Tao, won't we? Tsing Hui said. A faint smile appeared on Master Firmament's face when he heard this. There's a piece of good news that we haven't told you yet. Just yesterday, Master Zhuzhao came out of his closed-door training. Tsing Hui's eyes lit up when he heard this. Master Zhuzhao, he. Master Firmament nodded with a smile. That's right, he's already entered the profound void realm. Even though he still can't kill the Chaos Daoist Master, in the battle against the Heavenly Tao, our Firmament, Rainbow Sword Sect, and Sword Shadow are no longer at a disadvantage. Not to mention, the Black Flame Cult has also surrendered. If the Heavenly Tao really wants to launch an all-out attack against our alliance over the Karma Peak, then what's the harm in us accepting the challenge directly? Alright. Xing Hui clenched his fists tightly. Now that Master Zhuzhao had broken through to the profound void realm, Master Firmament could sit back and relax. Other than that, the problem of activating the teleportation array on the Fortune mainland could be solved. Now, all that was left was to wait for the auction of the spatial crystals. Master Firmament, go ahead and do what you need to do. Leave the Calmly mainland to me. Alright, but you have to remember that you have to prioritize your own safety. Xing Hui smiled faintly, Master Firmament, don't you have faith in my ability to protect myself? Master Firmament thought of the backtrack technique that appeared when the Chaos Daoist Master reached the 40th level and laughed, alright, I'll be waiting for your good news. Xing Hui nodded and left the Chaos Temple. Tell Su Fei to come see me. Xing Hui ordered. Soon, Su Fei and Su Qiubai appeared outside Xing Hui's courtyard. Greetings, Senior. There will be many true Saint Realm experts descending. I need to put on a show. You don't need to panic. If anyone wants to take over the Bieli mountain range as mine, just hand it over to them. You just need to protect your own life. Remember, this matter is only known to the two of you. Do not tell a third party. Su Fei and Su Qiubai were a little confused, but they still complied. We will follow Senior's instructions. Good. Xing Hui finished speaking and waited quietly. In less than half a day's time, he suddenly opened his eyes. At the next moment, he was like a stream of flowing light, soaring into the sky with a whoosh and flying toward the horizon. At the end of the horizon, a huge battleship broke through the wind and waves, sweeping up a mighty aura as it approached. It was less than 300 kilometers away from the mine in the Bieli mountain range. On the battleship, the muscular Master Firmament Splitter was standing on the deck with a huge sword on his back. No matter how strong the wind blew, his huge cloak fluttered loudly behind him. However, his expression did not change at all as he stared at the horizon in the direction of the Bieli mountain range. This time, I will personally take action and oversee this place. I would like to see just who dares to recklessly challenge me, the sky-splitting ultimate god. Master Firmament Splitter's expression was cold. However, in the next moment, he seemed to have discovered something and suddenly roared in anger, Junior, you're courting death. Rumble. Domain explosion. A terrifying domain with a suffocating force swept out and instantly enveloped a radius of more than 10 kilometers. The domain's power was vast and mighty, and a figure appeared less than 100 meters away from Master Firmament Splitter. He was immediately hit by the domain's power and spat out blood. Ah! The figure that was forced out by the domain's power roared. Sword Chi burst out and tore a crack in Master Firmament Splitter's domain. Then, he exploded with extreme speed and tried to escape. Unfortunately, it was useless. Ant, how dare you sneak attack me, Master Firmament Splitter? Die! With a furious roar, the terrifying 2-meter-tall sword on Master Firmament Splitter's back shattered the cloak and suddenly fell into Master Firmament Splitter's hand. Then, the sword slashed down and a suffocating force exploded from the huge sword. The figure that was restrained by the domain's power and had difficulty moving could only let out a scream before he was slashed into powder by Master Firmament Splitter's furious sword. He died on the spot. Master Firmament Splitter. Almost at the same time that Master Firmament Splitter killed the sneak attacker, the Almighties who followed Master Firmament Splitter, Xue Xiao, Qi Wuming, Luo Huanghun, and Hurricane appeared beside Master Firmament Splitter at the same time. Looking at the mysterious figure that was killed by Master Firmament Splitter 100 meters away, these Almighties could not help but gasp. What a terrifying concealment technique! I actually did not sense any aura at all. 100 meters. He actually lurked 100 meters away from us, but we did not even react. If Master Firmament Splitter had not noticed this kid in time, as long as he lurked beside us and suddenly attacked, even if we had monstrous techniques, we would only have a dead end. Xue Xiao, Luo Huanghun, and the others felt a chill in their hearts. This kid's concealment technique is indeed unparalleled in the world. I suddenly noticed when he was 100 meters away from me, so I attacked with all my strength in anger. At such a close distance, I did not dare to hold back at all. Otherwise, who knows what methods he would use to launch a sneak attack on me. Master Firmament Splitter looked at the mysterious expert that he had killed with a single strike of his sword, and his expression was slightly solemn. Who can stop him when he uses this concealment technique for assassination? Even the gods might fall for it if they are careless. No wonder our spies in the Void Distance continent said that the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord was captured alive. When facing such an opponent, the slightest mistake would lead to eternal damnation. Even the Heavenly Tao would have a headache when facing such an opponent who is adept at concealment. This is probably why he dared to challenge the Heavenly Tao. All of you need to take this as a warning. As you command, Master Firmament Splitter. Xue Xiao, Qi Wuming, Luo Huanghun, Hurricane, and the others responded at the same time. Since this junior has been killed by me, it's time for us to take over this mine. As Master Firmament Splitter and the others spoke, the warship had already arrived at the mine in the Separation Mountain Range. With a wave of his hand, many Saint Realm experts immediately jumped off the warship and surged into the mine. Su Fei, Su Qiubai, and the others who had received Xing Hui's orders in advance did not dare to resist and quickly retreated from the mine. However, before Master Firmament Splitter and the others could completely take control of the mine, a warship had already arrived. Immediately after, in another direction, the Black Sky Tao Lord, Mo Sun Tao Lord, and the others who belonged to the Heavenly Tao's camp also arrived. The Heavenly Tao, Divine Wilderness, and Eternal, the three great organizations immediately gathered on the Void Distance continent again. Chapter 658. Yaoyang, He Guang, and Tian Dao brats, if you want to take this mine from me, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Sky Splitter Supreme God laughed fearlessly as he looked at the Tian Dao and Eternal Dao forces that were rushing over. After laughing for a while, he turned to look at Tao Master He Tian and Tao Master Mo Sun. He bared his teeth and his face was full of mockery. Didn't that old bastard Wu Lu say that he's flawless? He actually sent the few of you here to die. You should rejoice that the kid who occupied this mine was killed by me. Otherwise, with your abilities, you guys won't even be enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. He only needs to be careful and patient, and one by one, he will be able to kill all of you like chopping vegetables. Tao Lord Void Sky, Tao Lord Mo Sun, and Tao Lord Black Sky exchanged glances. In the end, Tao Lord Black Sky stepped forward and said in a deep voice, Supreme God Sky Splitter, you said that you killed the mysterious expert who occupied this mine and captured my Heavenly Tao's Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. How can it be fake? That brat has mastered an extremely powerful assassination technique. He silently lurked less than 100 meters away from me. If it wasn't for the fact that my domain origin was constantly circulating, I'm afraid I would have fallen into his trap. He's really impressive. Even I, a Divine Realm expert, am in such a state. If it were you juniors who don't even have a domain origin, that brat could easily take your heads off. Isn't the Heavenly Tao sending the few of you to your deaths? Brat? Tao Master He Tian, Tao Master Mo Sun, and the others had a bad feeling. According to the flawless holy man, the person who captured the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord should be the Sky Dome Swordsman, Yu Rui. Furthermore, Yu Rui was a female lawful embodiment of heaven and earth expert. Why was it that according to the Sky Splitter Supreme God, it was actually a male? They didn't think that Sky Splitter Supreme God would lie to them about this matter. Based on their understanding of Sky Splitter Supreme God, he wouldn't bother to scheme over such a trivial matter. What about the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord? It's none of my business where the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord went. Sky Splitter Supreme God only wanted to flaunt his achievements a little. He didn't intend to explain it to Tao Master He Tian and the others in detail. Instead, he waved his hand at the people from Sky Splitter Supreme God and the Eternal. Alright, what I want to say is that I've already taken possession of this mineral deposit. The few of you should quickly retreat. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Although Sky Splitter Supreme God and the Eternal have appeared harmless recently and even said that you want to join forces with us to rule this great world, if you really annoy me, then all of you will die here. Sky Splitter Supreme God, according to our people's investigation, there are a lot of dust cleansing stones produced in this mine. The total value is thousands of Dao rhymes. I'm afraid that you alone might not be able to swallow such a huge amount of profit. I think it's better for the two of us to divide it equally. A few hundred years ago, Sky Splitter Supreme God relied on the formation to achieve a great victory on the Kongli continent and forced us to hand over the dust cleansing stones on this continent. Now that Sky Splitter Supreme God's rule on the Kongli continent has ended, it should be our turn. Why don't the two of us join forces to excavate the mineral deposit here and fight against Sky Splitter Supreme God? The brilliant Sun Emperor stepped forward and said in a deep voice. Although they had two great saints on their side, they didn't have much confidence in defeating Sky Splitter Supreme God, who had once been on the Supreme Expert list for a period of time. Join forces? Brilliant Sun, you don't have the qualifications to talk about joining forces with me. If you want to join forces with me, get your Eternal Tai to talk to me personally. Otherwise, get as far away as you can. Sky Splitter Supreme God's body shook impatiently and the huge sword on his back suddenly flew up and landed in his hand. Don't tell me that Sky Splitter Supreme God really sent you here to die. That's an insult to our intelligence. Hurry up and get your leader to come out. Otherwise, all three of you will die here today. Why are you so angry, Sky Splitter Supreme God? A figure suddenly appeared beside Tao Master Su Tian as soon as Sky Splitter Supreme God finished speaking. Just like how the Divine Wilderness had Dong Dong, the Void Walker, Tao Master Void Heaven was a Void Walker of the Heavenly Tao. However, this Void Walker had previously announced that his personal space was not even at level 10, but from the looks of it, he had been hiding his abilities. Zhurong. Sky Splitter Supreme God tilted his head and glanced at Zhurong Holy Man. Then, he glanced at the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Black Light Emperor. After that, he cracked his neck and a series of cracking sounds could be heard. The few of you are enough for me to use my full strength. Then, what are you still talking about? The three of you can come at me at once. If the three of you win, I'll turn around and leave. If the three of you lose, then leave the Kongli continent. If you dare to step onto the Kongli continent again, don't blame me for killing every single one of you. Zhurong Holy Man, the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Black Light Emperor looked at each other and came to a consensus. Then let me see what Sky Splitter Supreme God is capable of. Zhurong Holy Man roared. In the next moment, he had already attacked Sky Splitter Supreme God. The power of his domain swept out and turned into a world of fire. Standing in the center of the world of fire, a majestic figure rose behind Zhurong Holy Man. This figure was at least 1,000 feet tall and was covered in hellfire. There were bull horns on his head and he looked like the king of fire demons that walked out from purgatory. As he roared, he summoned a long whip of lava and attacked Sky Splitter Supreme God. Seeing Zhurong Holy Man make his move, the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Black Light Emperor didn't dare to hold back. Sky Splitter Supreme God was once on the ultimate powerful cultivator list. Even though he didn't secure his position and was soon eliminated, no one could deny that his powers were second only to the ultimate powerful cultivators. For a time, the three sainthood experts fought in the sky. Terrifying and vast ripples of energy wildly permeated the sky, forming circle after circle of destructive shockwaves that swept out in all directions. Everyone who witnessed this scene trembled in fear. When the battle between the three divine state cultivators erupted, the Black Heaven Holy Man entered the Chaos Holy Hall immediately and passed on the news to the Anisrava Holy Man, the situation is progressing as you predicted. Now, the Heavenly Way has joined forces with the Eternity Sect and we plan to expel the Divine Wilderness. However, there's an accident. The one on the Comely continent isn't the Heavenly Sword wielder that you predicted. It's a powerful cultivator with an unknown identity who is adept at assassination. The Thunder Punishment Holy Man is really like what we initially heard, he was ambushed because he wasn't careful. Isn't it the Heavenly Sword wielder? The Anisrava Holy Man didn't panic and remained calm. Then my guess is right. This is a trick to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Lure the tiger away from the mountain? The Black Heaven Holy Man was slightly taken aback. Then, he thought of the consequences of using the incarnation technique to descend on the Comely continent and his expression changed. The Heavenly Way didn't hesitate to use the dust-cleansing stone with thousands of Taoist rhythms as bait. What do they want to do? Damn it, the Heavenly Way's holy masters are all on the Comely continent. If they really want to make a move, we're in big trouble. What are they doing? The Anisrava Holy Man smiled as if he had expected this. According to the information I've gathered, they're probably going to attack the Divine Path sect and release the combat power of the White Rainbow Sword sect. After all, as far as I know, the White Rainbow Sword sect has become much stronger recently. The Divine Path sect. The White Rainbow Sword sect. Holy Man, then we have to get the Holy Masters to return immediately. Return? The Anisrava Holy Man smiled faintly. Are there any other Holy Masters in the entire Comely continent other than the Zhurong Holy Man? The Styx River Holy Man and the others have already infiltrated the Divine Path sect and are waiting for the Heavenly Way, the White Rainbow Sword sect and the Sword Shadow sect to make a move, and now. Wulikla's Holy Man raised his head and glanced in the direction of the Divine Path sect. The war should be about to erupt. In fact, this was not much different from what the Anisrava Holy Man had predicted. At this moment, on Firmament's side, Venerable Firmament's team, Sword Master Baiheng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yuing from Sword Shadow, the four Saint Stage experts directly charged towards the nail the Divine Tao sect had left in the White Rainbow Sword sect's encampment, Karma Peak. A great battle immediately erupted on Karma Peak. The Saint Stage expert on the Karma Peak, Heavenly Lord Huda, decided to beat them at their own game. He activated the formation and sucked Master Firmament, Sword Master Baiheng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Dark Shadow into it. Before the four of them could break out of the formation in time, 6 figures emerged from the Karma Peak at the same time and stood guard over the Karma Peak's level 12 protective formation. Heavenly Lord of Water Virtue, Heavenly Lord of Cloud Virtue, Heavenly Lord of Shangshan, Styx River Holy Man, Sword Master Wuxia, Sword Master Tai Huang. Venerable Firmament, Sword Master Baiheng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, Sword Master Yuing, and the rest were all shocked when they saw the 6 Saint Stage experts suddenly appear. This lineup was almost equivalent to half of the Heavenly Way's strength. Firmament, Shadow, and Long Rainbow, our Holy Man has already calculated that once the Heavenly Way's experts leave at the same time, you will definitely make a move. After some analysis, we concluded that what you want to do most is to remove the nail that is the Karma Peak. Therefore, we have already made sufficient preparations and we're just waiting for the few of you to take the bait. Today, if the 3 of you do not leave 1 or 2 people here, don't even think about escaping unscathed. The Styx River Holy Man, who had the highest status among them, could not help but laugh. There were a total of 7 divine sages on their side. Among them, the Styx River Holy Man belonged to the second category. His combat power was above the normal divine sages. Even though Venerable Firmament and Sword Master Baiheng were on the Heavenly Way's side, they still had an absolute advantage with the level 12 protective formation behind them. It was because they realized this point that Venerable Firmament, Sword Master Baiheng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Ewing turned serious. Venerable Firmament's gaze stopped on the Styx River holy man and the rest for a moment before he made a decision in his heart. This Wu Lu holy man is indeed scheming. Originally, I did not intend to reveal the matter of the Zhuzhou holy man. After all, if he makes a move at the crucial moment, he might be able to kill one of the divine sages. But now, it seems like if I do not borrow the power of the Zhuzhou holy man, things will not end well. In that case, I shall reveal this trump card first. If everything goes well, I may be able to use this battle to make the heavenly way pay the price. Chapter 659. Sky-Splitting. The Firmament Sword Sect, the Sword Shadow Sect, and the White Rainbow Sword Sect battled against the Divine Path Sect and the Way of the Heavens. Far away in the Comely continent, the Sky-Splitting Divine Master, the Brilliant Sun Emperor, the Black Light Emperor, and the Zhurong Holy Man were also fighting with all their might. Under the furious roar of the Zhurong Holy Man, the fiery demon's shadow that had just been mostly destroyed suddenly shot out a blinding radiance. Countless rays of radiance shot in all directions and were converted from pure energy into scorching lava, which quickly ignited the ground into a raging inferno. It was the divine spell. The enraged Zhurong Holy Man directly used the divine spell. Under the divine spell, the flames on the fiery demon's body naturally surged. The long whip that was completely formed from scorching lava was like a pillar that supported the heavens and earth as it swept towards the sky-splitting Divine Master's body. The moment it hit the sky-splitting Divine Master's domain, it caused this extremely condensed and turbulent domain to explode, forming a vacuum zone with a diameter of 5 to 6 kilometers. Death of the Great Sun. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the Brilliant Sun Emperor's figure, which was mixed with the aura of the divine spell, moved forward. The immense power of his domain rolled and crushed, shaking the power of the sky-splitting Divine Master's domain. In his hand, a dazzling ball of light that resembled a scorching sun expanded rapidly. In a breath's time, it had already turned into a blinding ball of light with a diameter of 10 meters. The light was so bright that even the many powerful beings who were watching from afar couldn't look directly at it. The energy waves that were released from the ball of light made these powerful beings tremble with fear. Fall, Great Sun. This great sun that had been condensed to the extreme exploded in the sky-splitting Divine Master's domain along with the Brilliant Sun Emperor's roar. Just the energy waves that were released from the ball of light had already torn the power of the sky-splitting Divine Master's domain into pieces. You want to fight me with this level of strength? Heavenly collapse. However, before the great sun could truly destroy the domain of the sky-splitting deity, the sky-splitting deity let out a long roar. The huge sword in his hand carried the power of heaven's fall that could tear the sky apart as it ruthlessly slashed at the resplendent great sun that had fallen into the domain of the sky-splitting deity. The power that could crush the void actually tore the great sun that shone with endless brilliance into pieces, allowing it to explode into blazing flames. The huge sword that he slashed out did not stop at all. It slashed into the Brilliant Sun Emperor's domain and tore it apart like tofu. Then, it slashed at the protective armor that the Brilliant Sun Emperor had summoned in time with an irresistible force. Boom! Light flowed in all directions. A shockwave visible to the naked eye spread out from the surface of Brilliant Sun Emperor's armor. Even though he was inside the domain, the shockwave still swept out a radius of over 10 kilometers. The tremendous impact shook the Brilliant Sun Emperor's body. The dazzling Emperor's eyes widened on the spot as he coughed out blood. His body seemed to have been invaded by a violent and scorching power. Large numbers of bloody lines appeared on his body as though he was about to be torn apart. Great Dark Sky. At the critical moment, Black Light Emperor, who was at the side, attacked with all his might. His domain enveloped and turned into a dark sky curtain. Within the dark sky curtain, one sense of direction and 6 senses were greatly disturbed and affected, causing one to be unable to distinguish up, down, left, right, south, east, and west. Get lost. A loud roar came from the darkness. Then, the dark sky curtain that covered over 10 kilometers collapsed inward slightly before exploding outwards. Huge swordlights that carried power that was not inferior to the power of a divine ability slashed wildly in all directions like a storm, tearing the dark sky curtain into pieces. At the same time, the power of the sky-splitting deity's domain spread out from the dark sky curtain and rapidly expanded along the torn dark sky curtain, expelling the dark sky curtain. Sky-splitting. Your arrogance ends here. Under the delay of the dark canopy of the heavens, the Zhurong holy man of the way of the heavens seemed to have completed some kind of powerful secret spell. The gigantic figure of the fiery demon in his domain reached out and the giant hand that was burning with raging flames turned into the sharp claws of a ferocious beast as it reached towards the dark canopy of the heavens. Boundless flames spread towards the sharp claws and caused the surrounding space to distort. The sharp claws reached into the dark sky curtain and quickly grabbed the sky-splitting deity out from the dark sky curtain. The flames on the claws clashed with the power of the domain of the sky-splitting deity and exploded into blazing flames. With the strength of the claws, the sky-splitting deity was about to be crushed by the claws. How can you hurt me with such petty tricks? Open up. The sky-splitting deity roared and the power of the domain of the sky-splitting deity swept out from his body. It attacked the sharp claws that contained boundless flames and forced the sharp claws open. Burning his origin. Not good. When he saw this scene, the Zhurong holy man's expression changed. In the next moment, the entire claw detached from the fire demon's body. After that, radiance shot out in all directions and the claw exploded in the next moment. It was like a nuclear bomb that exploded in midair. Boundless radiance and heat waves filled the void space within a few kilometers. Boom boom boom. A deafening boom was mixed with the shockwaves that were formed from the compression of the atmosphere. In the center of the shockwaves, the sky-splitting deity roared and charged out from the destructive explosion. He charged into the domain of the Zhurong holy man, which had dimmed due to the depletion of the Balrog figure's domain of the sky-splitting deity. As he slashed down with his sword, a huge sword shadow was formed. It tore a huge hole in the Zhurong holy man's domain and slashed towards the Zhurong holy man wherever the sword radiance reached. The dim domain of the sky-splitting deity was like tofu that was being sliced. It couldn't resist at all and was destroyed inch by inch. Damn it, is the sky-splitting deity going all out? The Zhurong holy man opened his eyes wide and stared at the huge sword that destroyed his domain of the sky-splitting deity. He roared furiously and the origin of the domain of the sky-splitting deity started to boil. The most obvious thing was that the Balrog figure that was about to dissipate suddenly solidified and grabbed the huge sword that the sky-splitting deity used to tear apart the domain of the sky-splitting deity was in his hand. When the huge sword clashed with the Balrog, a huge amount of flames shot in all directions. Do you think you can stop me? Sky-splitting slash. The sky-splitting deity roared furiously and his hair flared up. The huge sword that was trapped by the Balrog's domain of the sky-splitting deity suddenly collapsed. At the same time, the huge sword in the sky-splitting deity's hand split into three and turned into three huge swords. One of the three swords was still caught by the Balrog figure, but the other two pierced through void space and crashed into the Zhurong holy man's body with a thunderous force. The armor that the Zhurong holy man was wearing was pierced through by this sword. After that, the huge sword continued to penetrate the Zhurong holy man's body and penetrated his body, leaving behind a streak of blood-red light. Sky-splitting deity. Is the divine wilderness trying to start a full-scale war with the way of the heavens? The Zhurong holy man was furious. He no longer cared about restraining the sky-splitting deity's huge sword. The power of the domain of the sky-splitting deity spread wildly to protect his body. At the same time, he retreated rapidly and tried to escape from the battlefield. Start a war. Let's start a war then. Do you think the divine wilderness is afraid of you? Ha ha ha, since we're starting a war, I shall kill you today and weaken the power of the way of the heavens. The sky-splitting deity laughed maniacally. He clenched his fist and the huge sword that had split into three merged back together. After that, he followed closely behind the retreating figure of the Zhurong holy man and slashed down with his sword again. The terrifying sword shadow that contained the power of the domain of the heavens completely overturned the retreating Zhurong holy man. Die. 2 elements of disintegration technique. At this moment, a voice sounded. Following that, the power of the domain of the heavens enveloped an Abhijna and infused it into the sword radiance of the sky-splitting deity. This caused the destructive sword radiance to split into 2 and its power was greatly reduced. Even though this level of sword radiance was still very threatening, it wasn't impossible for the severely injured Zhurong holy man to resist it. As he retreated, he extended his hand and a huge hand that contained boundless flames and lava reached out from the domain of the heavens. As his body collapsed into lava, he also destroyed the sword radiance. As for the other sword radiance, it was naturally blocked by another powerful cultivator who appeared to save the Zhurong holy man, Qin Wei holy woman. The Black Light Emperor and the Bright Sun Emperor were planning to wait for the sky-splitting deity to focus all his energy on the Zhurong holy man before making their move. As they saw this figure, their expressions turned ugly. Venerable God Sky-Splitting paused and looked at holy woman Qin Wei. Suddenly, he laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, you people from the heavenly Tao are indeed sinister. There are 2 holy sages, but you only let one of them show up. Why? Are you waiting for me, sky-splitting, to fight against the eternal brilliant sun and black light to injure each other before you come out to reap the benefits? I remember that a few days ago, I got the news that the whereabouts of Zhu Rong and you, Qin Wei, are a mystery. Even Mingyi and Wuxia have disappeared with the excuse that they are in closed-door cultivation. I'm afraid they are here too, aren't they? Where are they? Let the 2 of them out. They are worse than rats. The Qin Wei holy woman and the Zhurong holy man's expressions turned ugly. This was especially so for the Zhurong holy man. Not only did he burn the origin of his domain, but he was also pierced through by the sky-splitting deity's giant sword. His internal organs were crushed into pieces. His recovery ability had not reached the 10th level and was only at the 5th level. Even though this injury could not kill him, there was a huge hole in his body. If it was not treated quickly, it would be a serious problem. His gaze turned and landed on the Brilliant Sun Emperor once again. Brilliant Sun Emperor, you should have seen how powerful sky-splitting hierarch is. If we don't do our best to cooperate, I'm afraid that the dust-leaving stone of the Kongli continent will be given to the divine wilderness. Humph. Summon Mingyi and Wuxia from the gate of heaven first. The Bright Sun Emperor's face darkened. In reality, he did not save the Zhurong holy man in time because he wanted to borrow the power of the sky-splitting deity to weaken the gate of heaven. Just like when the sky-splitting deity attacked him, the Zhurong holy man did not try his best to block it. After all, the 2 of them belonged to different camps. After defeating the sky-splitting deity, they had to fight again. Naturally, they did not mind weakening each other before the battle ended. The Mingyi holy man and Wuxia holy man are not here. The Zhurong holy man said seriously. The sky-splitting deity's lips curled into a mocking smile, who would believe you? I swear to the heavens. The Zhurong holy man gritted his teeth and said, according to the calculations of the Wuxia holy man, there are 2 possibilities for the situation on the Kongli continent. The first possibility is that the Tianqiong swordsman has broken through to the saint stage and is luring the people of the gate of heaven to the Kongli continent. However, according to the sky-splitting deity, this is clearly not the case. There is only one other possibility, which is to lure the tiger away from the mountain. The Tianqiong swordsman, the Rainbow Sword sect, and the Sword Shadow sect want to lure the main forces of the gate of heaven to the Kongli continent. Their real target is the Divine Path sect. Therefore, the Mingyi holy man, Wuxia holy man, and many other powerful cultivators of the Divine Path sect are lying in ambush in the Divine Path sect. They are waiting for them to fall into the trap. Chapter 660. The Celestial Vault Sect, the Sword Shadow Sect and the Baihong Sword Sect are involved. The brilliant Sun Emperor was shocked. That's right. The Zhurong holy man said solemnly, "Everyone, there is the illumination of candles in the sky." According to the Wu Lu holy man's calculations, the illumination of candles will recover in the next 1 or 2 years. Furthermore, didn't they obtain an innate charm from the divine ghost sect supported by the divine wilderness not long ago? After Zhu Zhao recovers, he can cultivate this part of the innate godly essence. There's even a chance for him to reach the paradise emptiness stage. Once he reaches the paradise emptiness stage, with his powerful abhijna, who will be his match before the most powerful of the 3 great powers? That's why the leakless holy man chose to focus on killing the Celestial Vault Sect, the Baihong Sword Sect and the Sword Shadow Sect. We're only here to save the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord. Saving the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord? That sounds nice, but it's because you don't think you have the power to take down the comely continent. The sky-splitting holy man waved his hand and said disdainfully. The sky-splitting holy man. The Zhurong holy man was enraged. If the way of the heaven wants to fight to the death with you, how much advantage do you think you have? Even though my battle strength has decreased, if the Qing Wei holy woman burns her domain origin, she can still deplete most of your strength. What will you use to fight the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Black Light Emperor then? Ha ha ha. Let me see if any of you can withstand the wrath of my skysplitter if I really focus on one of you and pursue you ferociously. The sky-splitting holy man laughed and his tone was full of disdain. What do you want? The divine wilderness will take 60% of the dust-cleansing stones on the comely continent. The way of the heaven and the eternity will decide how to split the remaining 40%. The sky-splitting holy man waved his hand. 60%. Both the Zhurong holy man and the brilliant Sun Emperor were enraged. Sky-splitting supreme God, it's true that you're powerful and you have the greatest advantage among the 3 of us on the comely continent. However, isn't it a little too much to say that you're taking 60%? You can take 40% at most. This was related to the benefits of the dust-cleansing stone. Even though the price of the dust-cleansing stone was raised by the way of the heavens and its actual value was less than half, it was still equivalent to 5000 to 6000 Taoist charms. With 5000 to 6000 Taoist charms, 10% of it was equivalent to 500 to 600 Taoist charms. This was equivalent to almost half of the wealth of a holy sage. The Zhurong holy man, the brilliant Sun Emperor and the rest were naturally unwilling to back down. What? You don't agree with me taking 60%? Then let's fight again. At that time, whoever is standing will be the winner. Supreme God Skysplitter, it seems like you really want to go against both our Tian Dao and eternal families at the same time. The brilliant Sun Emperor said in a deep voice. The Zhurong holy man also shifted his position slightly. The 4 holy sages stood together and the power of their domains surged as they pointed at the Supreme God Skysplitter. The Supreme God Skysplitter glanced at the Zhurong holy man and then at the brilliant Sun Emperor. He saw that the 2 families were about to put aside their differences and join forces against him. He could only snort, "I'll do it. I'll take 50%. Otherwise, let's just fight it out. I don't believe that the way of the heavens and eternal families can maintain such close cooperation." The brilliant Sun Emperor and the Zhurong holy man looked at each other. After a moment of hesitation, they finally nodded their heads. 50% it is then. After the 2 parties agreed, the brilliant Sun Emperor immediately raised his own request. Zhurong, the eternal family wants 30%. 30%? You. Zhurong, don't forget that the holy sages of the way of the heavens are probably involved in the battle against the Heavenly Sword Sect, the Rainbow Sword Sect and the Sword Shadow Sect. They might not be able to spare enough strength to join the battle on the comely continent. However, the same can't be said for the eternal family. You. The Zhurong holy man's face darkened when he heard that the brilliant Sun Emperor was trying to force him. However, Just as he opened his mouth to say something, the supreme god Skysplitter, who had gained the most advantage, suddenly roared, "How dare you!" In the next moment, he waved the giant sword in his hand. The immense power of the realm swept up a frightening aura as it slashed towards the right side of his body. Wherever the sword radiance passed, the void collapsed. It was as if it wanted to devour all matter in the area and turn it into nothingness. It was a pity, his opponent this time was clearly not ordinary. A ball of blazing fire suddenly exploded in the void. The power contained within it was not inferior to the great sun death that the brilliant Sun Emperor used previously. The blazing and violent radiance collided with the giant sword of the supreme god Skysplitter without any fancy moves. It formed a dazzling radiance that swallowed everything within a few hundred meters. "Brat, it's you. You're courting death." In the trembling flames, the supreme god Skysplitter glared at the figure that ambushed him. Then, he roared and was about to unleash his aura to annihilate the assassin. However, before he could attack again, the other party's sword radiance had already exploded in front of him. Furthermore, the speed of the attack was far faster than the supreme god Skysplitter could react. Just a second ago, he was still furious and wanted to take advantage of his victory to kill this cultivator who dared to sneak attack him on the spot. However, in the next second, his expression changed drastically, and he hurriedly pulled out his sword to defend himself. However, even though his defense speed was extremely fast, when the opponent's second, third, fourth, and fifth sword came bombarding him like a violent storm without any pause, it still completely destroyed the means he was proud of. When he barely recovered from this violent storm of attacks, the resplendent and violent sword light had already attacked him once again, completely engulfing his figure. Oh no! The supreme god Skysplitter had no time to react when he sensed the destructive power of the sword radiance. He roared in shock and a wave of spatial ripples emanated from his body. Then, disappeared. Teleportation spell. This is the teleportation spell. The supreme god Skysplitter escaped with his teleportation spell after being ambushed. What a fast sword! What a violent abhijna! Where did this powerful cultivator come from? The Glorious Era sect, the Annihilation sect. Or is he from the Eternity? The Eternity doesn't have such a powerful cultivator. Oh no, he's coming for us. The Zhurong Holy Man, the Qin Wei Holy Woman, the Brilliant Sun Holy Man, the Black Light Holy Man and the others exclaimed in shock. As Tsing Hui turned his sword, they followed closely behind with their own domain powers. No matter who he is, let's chase him away first. The Kongli continent can return to the heavenly axiom, the divine wilderness and the eternity. However, we can't allow a fourth person to interfere. The four divine saints reached a consensus. As Tsing Hui lunged towards the Zhurong Holy Man, they roared at the same time. Their domain powers engulfed the area and swept towards Tsing Hui. The four divine saints reacted quickly. However, they underestimated the speed of Tsing Hui's assassination. Furthermore, as he channeled the shadowless celestial spell to the fullest, he concealed his aura to the extreme. Coupled with his light-chasing abhijna, the four divine saints were unable to accurately lock onto his body. Just as they reached a consensus to chase Tsing Hui out, Tsing Hui's figure had already appeared behind the severely injured Zhurong Holy Man. Then, his sword aura descended. The sword aura, which was based on the 142nd level of spiritual power, carried the weight of Mount Tai as it slammed into the Zhurong Holy Man's domain. The Zhurong Holy Man's domain had already been slightly burnt in his battle with the supreme god Skysplitter. He was currently in a weakened state. Faced with Tsing Hui's sword aura, his spiritual power was greatly shaken. Not good. The Zhurong Holy Man's consciousness trembled. Tsing Hui's sword aura contained the characteristics of destroying one's soul. The domain itself was a special force field that existed through the combination of one's own aura and the laws of nature. His aura was forcefully crushed by Tsing Hui's aura. It was as if a cultivator in the spiritual unity stage had been forcefully suppressed to the spirit cultivation stage and had lost the characteristics of the spiritual unity stage. In an instant, the power of the domain was completely suppressed and was almost out of the Zhurong holy man's control. Open up. The Zhurong holy man sensed the danger and immediately roared. The origin of the domain burned again and the power of the domain, which was originally low, suddenly surged. He only needed a breath's time to completely crush Tsing Hui's sword aura. It's too late. With a soft cry, the aura of the divine spell exploded from Tsing Hui's body. Relying on the understanding of the laws of nature brought about by the limitless Tao fruit, the sword of sunlight that he slashed out tore through the void. A terrifying black crack appeared at the tip of the sword. Seeing this black crack, the Zhurong holy man's eyes widened. His breathing seemed to stagnate. Crushing vacuum. Crushing vacuum. This is the offensive power of the crushing vacuum. Rip. The moment this black crack came into contact with the power of the Zhurong holy man's domain, it sliced through the Zhurong holy man's domain like it was tofu. Even though the Zhurong holy man had the support of the origin of his domain, he still couldn't resist the sharpness of this sword. Retreat. In this life and death crisis, the Zhurong holy man did not hesitate. He seemed to be about to activate his teleportation spell and retreat. You want to leave? Lihan Heavenly World. Tsing Hui seemed to have seen through the Zhurong holy man's thoughts. He pressed down with his hand and the Lihan Heavenly World came crashing down. Buzz buzz. The Zhurong holy man was shocked. The Lihan Heavenly World could not block the teleportation spell. However, as a spatial domain type 16th order treasure, it was able to delay the operation of the teleportation spell for a moment. In addition, this treasure that belonged to the Lihan Heavenly Man had a certain impact on the Zhurong holy man's mind, causing his movements to slow down. This delay was the difference between life and death. Splat. The sword radiance tore through the sky. The deep scarlet sword, which contained the power of the crushing vacuum, slashed into the Zhurong holy man's body without stopping. Even though the Zhurong holy man had a decent defensive armor, it had been destroyed by the sky-splitting holy man once. Its energy had not fully recovered. How could it resist the deep scarlet sword's crushing vacuum? Flowing light, crushing. No. The deep scarlet sword radiance did not stop as it sliced through the Zhurong holy man's head, causing a blood-red glow to appear. At the same time, the spatial ripples of the teleportation spell spread. As the Zhurong holy man screamed in disbelief, the ripples wrapped around his body and his decapitated head. They tore through the weak restraining power of the Lihan Heavenly World and disappeared into space. Chapter 661. Boom boom boom. Almost at the same time that Tsing Hui killed the Zhurong holy man, the Qing Wei holy woman, the brilliant Sun Emperor, and the Black Light Emperor's attacks came crashing down. Even the 16th order domain type treasure, the Lihan Heaven domain, did not last more than half a breath under the attacks of the three divine saints. It was easily destroyed. However, half a breath's time was enough. Whoosh! Tsing Hui's body shook and he seemed to have turned into a ray of light. Before the three domain-type powers came crashing down on him, he shot out like lightning and escaped from the three domain-type powers. At the same time, he turned again and avoided the attacks of the three divine saints and went straight for the Qing Wei holy woman. Zhurong. Lihan Heaven Domain. This is the Lihan Heaven Domain. You're Chou Tsing Hui. You're Chou Tsing Hui, the disciple of the Zhuzhao clan. No. Chou Tsing Hui can't have this kind of ability. Who are you? How dare you provoke the divine wilderness, eternity, and heavenly way? How dare you, dark sun Aurora? The remaining three saints roared at the same time. Among them, the Black Light Emperor attacked again and a blazing sun exploded in the void. However, the power of this explosion was not a shockwave, but a light. boundless and dazzling light. The moment this light exploded, everything within a radius of tens of kilometers was filled with light and the energy waves of the black sun aurora. Even the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Qing Wei holy woman lost their senses of the outside world for a moment, and their eyes were filled with nothing but white. However, their blankness did not last for more than a moment. As the Black Light Emperor waved his hand, the two of them regained their senses and saw Tsing Hui, who was less than 1,000 meters away from the Qing Wei holy woman. "You're courting death. Qing Wei, stop him. I'll give him a fatal blow." The brilliant Sun Emperor roared and a vast and terrifying energy wave started to gather in his hand. It was as if a blazing sun was being born. This was his divine ability, the great sun's demise. Its power was so great that even divine sovereign skysplitting could not underestimate it. When the Qing Wei holy woman witnessed how Tsing Hui defeated the skysplitting holy man and the Zhurong holy man, she was a little uneasy. She wanted to retreat, but after hearing the brilliant Sun Emperor's words, she gritted her teeth and waved her hand in the face of Tsing Hui's sword radiance. The power of her realm surged and entangled with Tsing Hui's sword radiance. Taiji turns into yin and yang give birth to the 4 divisions, and the 4 divisions give birth to the 8 trigrams. Holy woman Qing Wei continued to use her abhijna. Countless streams of abhijna light wrapped around Tsing Hui. The sword that tore apart the power of his domain continued to divide the power of this sword into 2, 4, 8, then, there was no then. Just as the Qing Wei holy woman was able to dissipate Tsing Hui's first sword radiance, his second sword radiance followed closely behind. It was like a falling great sun that crashed into the Qing Wei holy woman's domain. The vast and mighty energy wave carried a terrifying aura and crushed the Qing Wei holy woman's domain. Just the shockwave formed from the collision of the two forces had already formed a vacuum with a diameter of 1,000 meters. Furthermore, Tsing Hui's third sword radiance had already formed on the deep scarlet sword. Why isn't he affected by the Black Light Emperor's abhijna? Could it be that he's the secret weapon of eternity? Yes, his abhijna is very similar to eternity. It's violent and blazing. This kind of abhijna can't be blocked. Even the sky-splitting holy man was killed by him, and the Zhurong holy man couldn't even withstand a single blow from him. He's definitely someone who's close to the ultimate stage hidden in eternity. He might even be an ultimate stage existence. If we continue to fight, I'm afraid I'll die here. The Qing Wei holy man watched as Tsing Hui's sword radiance crushed his abhijna and domain into powder. It was as if a peerless divine weapon was used to chop vegetables. He was pressed to the ground and ground mercilessly. He couldn't care less about the glory of the heavenly way or about avenging the Zhurong holy man. He didn't even care that using the teleportation spell on the comely continent would result in a teleportation error. He didn't even care about the consequences of falling into a void. He activated the teleportation spell without hesitation. Buzz buzz. The ripples in space dissipated. He escaped. Tsing Hui wasn't the only one who was stunned by this scene. Even the brilliant Sun Emperor, who was preparing his ultimate move, was stunned. In reality, Tsing Hui wasn't immune to the effects of the mystical sun aurora. This abhijna was very similar to his light sensory deprivation, which was why he had a decent resistance to this abhijna. Furthermore, the mystical sun aurora caused the surroundings to be filled with white light and the senses of cultivators were distorted. However, Tsing Hui could use his aura examination spell to lock onto his target. Under such circumstances, he could still pinpoint the location of the Qing Wei holy man accurately and launch an attack on him. This caused the Qing Wei holy man to misunderstand and escape with his teleportation spell. Then, there's only the two of you left. Since the Qing Wei holy man escaped, Tsing Hui couldn't be bothered to pursue him. The characteristics of the chaos stage were the most unreasonable. Even the resurrection spell and backtracking spell were among them, let alone the teleportation spell. This was also the reason why the Way of the Heavens, the Divine Wilderness and the Eternity Stage were much stronger than the other powers. It was difficult to kill a divine sage. Other than the divine sages who didn't have any items that could raise their chaos stage to the 30th level, most of the divine sages used the teleportation spell as a life-saving skill. There was even a saying in the divine wilderness world that one wouldn't leave without teleportation. If one couldn't kill the other divine sage, there was no need to talk about annihilation. Wait a minute, who are you? The brilliant Sun Emperor was also injured by the heaven-splitting divine sage. His condition wasn't much better than the Zhurong holy man. He stared at Xing Hui and distanced himself from Xing Hui. He was bewildered. Based on what you've shown in this battle, I'm afraid you're not inferior to the heaven-splitting divine sage. You're definitely not a nobody. Which power do you represent? Sword Shadow? The Xuanji Hall or the Heavenly Vault? I'll tell you if you can take 100 strikes from me. Qing Su chuckled gently. With a turn of his body, he had already attacked the brilliant Sun Emperor again. Before he had even arrived, his sword arrived first. The radiant light from the sword of sunlight brought with it surging waves of heat, erupting like an erupting volcano. The scorching power within the strike was no weaker than the brilliant Sun Emperor's death of the great sun. Damn it. The brilliant Sun Emperor roared and smashed the death of the great sun in his hand towards Xing Hui. He didn't even look at the result of this attack. He shouted at the Black Light Emperor, "Let's go." Emperor He Guang glanced at the brilliant Sun Emperor who was dispirited before glancing at Qing Su who was no weaker than the sky-splitting god. He sighed inside, from today onwards, a new supreme expert will be born on heaven's desolate land. With this regret, he quickly met up with the brilliant Sun Emperor and boarded the Eternity battleship dozens of kilometers away. They quickly retreated. Rumble. The death of the great sun and the sword of sunlight collided in the void and exploded. It was like a blazing sun that emitted endless light. The intense light radiation filled the surrounding dozens of kilometers. As for the shock wave that swept over, it was as if it wanted to completely tear the entire sky apart. However, before the explosive power completely dissipated, Xing Hui's second and third sword of sunlight tore the brilliant Sun Emperor's death of the great sun into pieces. The sea of flames that burned the void seemed to have been split into two halves. The shocking scene made the brilliant Sun Emperor even more determined to retreat. Although he was tyrannical and superior to ordinary divine realm experts, he was still inferior to Xing Hui, who was second only to supreme masters. In other words, he was an invincible existence who had reached the level of supreme masters. Even though he had the Black Light Emperor by his side, he had no confidence in this battle. Eternity, now is not the time to deal with you. Xing Hui's gaze paused on the brilliant Sun Emperor and the Black Light Emperor for a moment. Then, he turned around and rushed in the direction of the three Tao Lords of the Gate of the Heaven as fast as he could. Quick, quick! Let's go, let's go! Tao Lord Su Tian, Tao Lord Black Heavens, and Tao Lord Hunyuan of the Gate of the Heaven had already retreated as far as they could from the battlefield after witnessing the Zhurong holy man's death. When they saw that the Qing Wei holy woman did not hesitate to activate her teleportation spell to escape, they turned around and left. In just a few moments, they had already escaped more than 100 kilometers away. However, 100 kilometers was nothing to Xing Hui. In just 1 or 2 breaths, the battleship that Tao Lord Black Heavens, Tao Lord Su Tian, and Tao Lord Hunyuan were on appeared in front of him. When they heard the deafening explosion behind them, Tao Lord Su Tian, Tao Lord Black Heavens, and Tao Lord Hunyuan's expressions changed drastically. Oh no! He's coming after us. Damn it, does this person have a grudge against the Gate of the Heaven? Otherwise, why would he target us instead of chasing after the Eternity and the Divine Wilderness? Now that things have come to this, we can only abandon the battleship and escape at full speed. He's too fast, we can't escape. Quick, give me all your Tao carrying items. My chaos level is now 28. I only need 200 Dao carrying items to activate my teleportation spell. When the time comes, I'll use my personal space to bring all of you in and escape using my teleportation spell. This is the only way. Dao Lord Su Tian, Dao Lord Black Heavens, and Dao Lord Hunyuan panicked. 200 Dao carrying items was only 100 each. Although this was a large sum of money for the two Dao Lords, they could still gather it if they gritted their teeth. In this life and death situation, the two Dao Lords couldn't care less. They immediately took out their Dao carrying items and handed them over to Dao Lord Su Tian. However, just as the two of them took out their Dao carrying items and handed them over to Dao Lord Su Tian, a terrifying sword aura that was as heavy as Mount Tai slammed into the three Dao Lords' spiritual world. Even though the three Dao Lords were all elites in the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth, they still felt their brains shake violently when faced with Tsing Hui's spiritual world that had been infused with the Thorn God's secret art. It was as if someone had used a huge hammer to smash them, causing them to feel dizzy and completely stupefied. Chapter 662. Oh no! Dao Master Su Tian's mental strength was obviously higher than that of Dao Master He Tian and Dao Master Mo Feng. He was the first to wake up. He didn't even bother to take away the treasures of Dao Master He Tian and Dao Master Mo Feng. Instead, he directly raised his chaos level to level 30 and activated the teleportation technique. As a Void Walker, his wealth was no less than that of any saint. The reason he had mentioned that his chaos level was only at the 28th level was because he wanted to extort some Daoist treasures from Daoist Master Dark Sky and Daoist Master Hunyuan. However, compared to Daoist treasures, his life was obviously more important. Su Tian. Dao Master He Tian, who had forced himself to wake up, seemed to have understood something. When he saw Dao Master Su Tian escaping using the teleportation technique, he immediately let out an angry roar. However, before he could do anything, Tsing Hui's sword intent exploded again. This time, it wasn't as heavy as Mount Tai. Instead, it turned into a blazing sun and directly shone into their spiritual world. Instantly, it burned the sky and boiled the sea. Whoosh! Tsing Hui appeared beside Dao Master He Tian and Dao Master Mo Feng. He directly grabbed the two of them and used his true qi to knock them out and capture them alive. Dao Master He Tian. Humph. After capturing the two Dao Masters, Tsing Hui looked in the direction of the Divine Wilderness. At this moment, the people of the Divine Wilderness had already disappeared. He didn't chase after them. Instead, he immediately projected a part of his consciousness into the Chaos Divine Palace and stepped into the courtyard of Venerable Master Heaven in the Sky Dome realm. Not here. After glancing around, Tsing Hui's figure flashed and appeared in the External Affairs Hall where Venerable Master Tsangzhen was. Venerable Master. Tsing Hui didn't care about the members of the Heaven Dome realm who were queuing outside the External Affairs Hall. He directly entered the External Affairs Hall. When Venerable Master Tsangzhen saw this, he waved his hand at a Golden Core Realm Elder who was talking to him and said, "You can go and wait." After the Golden Core Realm Elder left, he asked, "How was it, Tsing Hui? Are you alright?" "I'm fine on my side, but I'm afraid something's wrong on the Firmament Master's side. According to the information I received from the Zhurong Holy Man, the Way of the Heavens didn't send the four great sages to the Kongli continent at all. Only the Zhurong Holy Man and the Qingwei Holy Man went. On the contrary, the Anisrava Holy Man seemed to have predicted that we would ambush the Divine Path sect. He already sent the Nether River Holy Man, the Formless Holy Man, and the other saints of the Divine Path sect to ambush the Divine Path sect. What's the situation over there? Has the battle already begun? Anisrava, that old bastard. He really has a trick up his sleeve. I knew it, he's used to calculating 3 steps before taking 1 step. Venerable Master Tsangzhen cursed, when you took action, the Firmament Master and the others had already made their move. Now, I'm afraid the battle has already been going on for quite some time. But don't worry, although the Anusrava holy man is said to be flawless in his calculations, the firmament master is no pushover either. Before he took action, he already considered the possibility of an ambush and informed the Zhurong holy man and the others of their movements. I'll go to the courtyard where the Zhurong holy man is in closed-door cultivation to take a look. If the formation of the courtyard where he's in closed-door cultivation has been closed, it means that he's already come out to reinforce the firmament master and the others. If the Zhurong holy man is there, given his current void transformation stage cultivation, a smile appeared on Venerable Master Tsongjin's face as he said this, as if he had already predicted the scene of the upcoming battle. The Zhurong holy man has gone. Can he make it in time? Of course he can. There's one thing that you probably don't know. After the Zhurong holy man raised his chaotic level to level 30, he focused on improving his teleportation technique. His teleportation technique has reached level 6 and is much more convenient than we imagined. In addition, he's been to the Karma Peak before, so he can teleport there in an instant. As Venerable Master Tsongjin spoke, he quickly received news: the formation of the courtyard where the Zhurong holy man is in closed-door cultivation has been closed. He's gone to the Karma Peak, so you don't have to worry about the Divine Path sect. Tsing Hui heard this and nodded slightly. Before the Zhurong holy man had broken through to the void transformation stage, he was already ranked 4th among the top 10 experts, second only to the Chaos holy man, the Tai Yi emperor, and the supreme god Ancient Wilderness. Now that he had stepped into the void transformation stage and had a divine object like the originator that was constantly absorbing mysterious Yuan Qi to strengthen himself, he probably had enough confidence to compete for the throne of the top expert in the divine wilderness. With him around, unless the Chaos holy man of the heavenly way came out of his closed-door cultivation, Firmament Master would definitely have a bountiful harvest this time. I haven't talked about you yet. How's your side? Venerable Master Tsongjin asked with concern. I'm fine. The Zhurong holy man used his teleportation technique to escape from the Lihan heaven realm, but before he escaped, he was decapitated by my sword. His body most likely fell into the space mezzanine and was ground to ashes. Even if he didn't teleport into the space mezzanine, I don't believe that he's lucky enough to have a son of chaos who pointed out the resurrection technique next to him. Besides, the Qingwei holy woman was also forced to use her teleportation technique to escape. Good. Venerable Master Tsongjin slapped the table excitedly. Zhurong is dead for sure. The Conli continent itself has the effect of affecting teleportation techniques. Coupled with the Lihan heaven realm, the probability of him falling into the space mezzanine is almost 99%. You've basically killed a divine being of the heavenly way. As for Qingwei, the dust-repelling stone of the Conli continent has the effect of reversing space, but this effect can only cause errors in teleportation. Moreover, it has a much smaller effect on teleporting people away from the Conli continent, so it's probably not enough for him to fall into the space mezzanine. However, if he's unlucky, we can't rule out the possibility of him falling into the space mezzanine. The environment of the space mezzanine is very complex. Even divine beings find it difficult to move around in it. Even if he's lucky enough to survive, it's still extremely difficult to find the way back. Tsing Hui nodded. The space mezzanine was still quite dangerous for many divine beings. It could be said that once they fell into the space mezzanine, the probability of survival was only half. If there's any news from Venerable Master Tsongqiong, inform me immediately. If you need my help, I definitely won't stand by and do nothing. Don't worry. If we don't make use of a great expert like you, it would be a waste of God's gift. Ha ha ha. Venerable Master Tsongjin laughed heartily. The heavenly way had lost Zhurong holy master, and now that Venerable Master Zhuzhao had made his move, it was possible that he could kill another divine being of the Divine Path sect. In this way, the heavenly way's camp would lose 2 divine beings. In this way, the pressure on the alliance of Qianqiong, Jianying, and the Rainbow Sword sect would be greatly reduced. Qianqiong's good days were probably about to come. Under such circumstances, Venerable Master Tsang Zhen, who was a senior elder of Tianqiong, was naturally delighted. Tsing Hui nodded and then left the Chaos Divine Hall. His gaze swept through the surroundings, and it directly descended onto the numerous Saint Realm experts that the two Tao Lords had brought with them. Everywhere his gaze passed by, all of them fell silent like cicadas in the winter while their eyes were filled with terror. They were utterly unable to arouse any intention to resist when facing such an invincible figure that could even kill a Saint Realm expert. The Heavenly Way has summoned you here to excavate the mineral deposits. Then, continue to carry out the orders. Once all the dust-repelling stones in the Comely continent have been excavated, I'll let you all live. I'll divide you into groups of 100 and divide you into different mining areas. If anyone dares to resist or escape during this period, the remaining 99 will be executed. The Comely continent will be your burial ground. Do you understand? Tsing Hui's voice reverberated in the void. Immediately, some of the Aurus Core elders in the lead responded, "Yes, we understand." "Yes, Venerable Master." Tsing Hui responded and brought Tao Lord He Tian, Tao Lord Mo Sun, and the battleship that belonged to the Heavenly Way to the mine in the Separation Mountains. At this time, the people of the Divine Wilderness had quickly retreated and the mine was once again taken over by Su Fei and the others. Seeing Tsing Hui land, Su Fei and the others quickly went forward and bowed to Tsing Hui with a trace of fanaticism in their eyes. "Welcome, Senior." They had witnessed the shocking battle that had erupted above the Farewell Mountains earlier. Now that the Heaven's Way, the Divine Wilderness, and the Eternity had all been driven away by Qing Su, it was obvious just how powerful Qing Su was. When he thought about how the people of the Su family were actually working for such a powerful god, Su Fei immediately trembled in excitement. Even Su Qiubai, who did not know much about the Divine Wilderness, the Heaven's Way, and the Eternity behind him, viewed Qing Su as a god who had repelled so many powerful enemies. "Alright, everything will continue as usual. Now, extract the supreme grade dust-repelling stones as soon as possible. I've brought you some miners. With them, the extraction of the dust-repelling stones should be much faster. You'll be in charge of monitoring them. If anyone tries to play tricks, report to me directly." Tsing Hui said. This battle was enough to determine the ownership of the Kongli continent. He believed that unless the Heavenly Way decided to launch an all-out war on the Kongli continent, the Kongli continent would belong to him without any worries. Su Fei glanced at the many people of the Heavenly Way that Tsing Hui had brought and hurriedly replied respectfully, "Yes." "Have the interrogation experts from the Heavens Will Palace been transferred over?" "Senior, they've all been transferred over." "Very good, let them come with me." Tsing Hui nodded and immediately entered the specially prepared interrogation room. The Thunder Punishment Tao Lord was still imprisoned in the interrogation room, and Scorpion was still interrogating him. However, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord was an existence who had reached the level of heavenly manifestations of earth, and someone who understood the heavenly ways would definitely come to save him. As a result, he actually managed to endure Scorpion's torture for a few short days. Now that he saw Qing Su arrive, the Thunder Punishment Tao Lord raised his head and glared at him as if he was in disbelief. You're actually not dead. Where are the people of the Heavenly Way? Also, wasn't this mine controlled by the people of the Divine Wilderness? Where's the Supreme God of the Divine Wilderness? The Thunder Punishment Tao Lord's emotions instantly became unstable when he saw Tsing Hui enter the interrogation room. "Since I'm here, isn't it obvious what will happen to the Supreme God of the Heavenly Way and the people of the Heavenly Way?" Tsing Hui said indifferently. Then, he threw the Black Heaven Tao Lord and Mo Sun Tao Lord out. "In addition, I've also captured the two Tao Lords of the Heavenly Way alive. With the two of them accompanying you, I believe that there will be people who will share your joys and sorrows during the interrogation." Chapter 663. Taoist Master He Tian. Taoist Master Mo Sun. You. When the Thunder Punishment Taoist saw the two captured Taoist masters, a deep sense of despair engulfed his entire body, causing him to feel cold all over. How could this be? How could this be? The Thunder Punishment Taoist master was in a daze and felt like he was about to collapse. He had been tortured by the poisonous snake for 2 whole days and had relied on the belief that someone from the heavenly Tao would come to his rescue. That was why he had been able to resist the urge to divulge the secrets of the heavenly Tao and his chaos arts. Now that both Taoist Master He Tian and Taoist Master Mo Sun had been captured alive, it was obvious that the heavenly Tao's rescue had failed. When he thought of the consequences, he felt as though his spine had been pulled out. He could no longer hold on and collapsed to the ground. Bring him in and interrogate him properly. We have to get everything we need out of him. Tsing Hui said to Poison Scorpion. Poison Scorpion responded respectfully and quickly brought the Thunder Punishment Taoist master to another room to continue the interrogation. Swoosh! After the Thunder Punishment Taoist master left, Tsing Hui shot a sword intent into the Taoist master He Tian's spiritual world. Instantly, the Taoist master's face was filled with fear as he quickly regained his senses. When he saw Tsing Hui, his pupils shrank as though a trace of fear flashed across his eyes. However, he quickly forced himself to calm down and said in a threatening manner, "It seems like you really intend to fight to the death with the heavenly Tao. However, are you sure you can withstand the wrath of the heavenly Tao?" Taoist Master He Tian, it seems like you haven't recognized me yet. Tsing Hui looked indifferent. The Taoist Master He Tian frowned as he stared at Tsing Hui for a moment. He really couldn't think of anyone he knew who was as monstrous as the person in front of him. He looked like he was only at the divine realm and was at most at the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. However, his combat strength had reached such a level that even a divine realm powerhouse was no match for him. It would be better if he had secretly refined an 18th grade divine weapon into his body. However, if he had relied on his own abilities to go against the divine realm, wouldn't that mean he had awakened a supreme divine ability? Once such a terrifying existence who possessed supreme divine abilities broke through to the divine realm, even if the chaotic holy man had reached the vacuum-shattering realm, it would not be easy to take him down. Taoist Master Black Heaven, you are indeed busy. Then, let me remind you that you once sent a golden core incarnation to create evolve mysterious sect in Eastern Wasteland. Tsing Hui said. As soon as he finished speaking, Taoist Master Black Heaven, who had forced himself to calm down, suddenly narrowed his eyes. His breathing became rapid, and his face was filled with shock. It's you. You're that kid called Cho Tsing Hui. Impossible. Impossible. That incident happened only a few years ago. At that time, you weren't even in the Golden Core realm. How could you possibly cultivate a divine ability in just a few years? Moreover, the avatar I sent down had already killed you, and because I knew that you had a Class 10 recovery ability, I purposely ground your bones and scattered your ashes. Even a resurrection spell wouldn't be able to resurrect a living being without a trace. How could you be that person? Perhaps it's hard to believe, but it's the truth. The resurrection art cannot resurrect a person who has been burned to ashes, but, what about the backtrack art? Backtrack art. A backtrack art that can only be possessed by a level 40 chaotic holy man. You. Taoist Master Black Heaven's eyes widened. Tsing Hui looked coldly at Taoist Master Black Heaven. That day, I said that I would take revenge, and now, I've done it. Taoist Master Black Heaven, you're now in my hands. I hope that you can hold on for 2 or 3 days like Taoist Master Thunder Punishment. Don't give in too quickly, otherwise, I'm afraid I'll miss out on a lot of fun. As he spoke, Su Fei had brought the two of them directly to the interrogation room and bowed respectfully. Take them away. I want to squeeze out every valuable thing from them. Tsing Hui said. Taoist Master Black Heaven's eyes flashed with despair. Disciple Zhu Zhao, you're from Heaven Dome. But don't be complacent. Heaven Tao will never let Heaven Dome go. Wu Likeless Holy Man has already set a trap. Now, Master Firmament from Heaven Dome, Sword Master Bai Heng and Sword Master Long Rainbow from Rainbow Sword Sect, and Sword Master Yuing from Sword Shadow have all fallen into Master Firmament's trap. The best outcome for these people is to fall into the void mezzanine, and they might even be caught by us. When that happens, Heaven Dome will not be able to escape the fate of destruction. Is that so? Then I don't mind telling you a piece of news. After knowing that Wu Likeless Holy Man has set a trap, Master Zhu Zhao of Heaven Dome has already gone to support him. The trap set by Wu Likeless Holy Man may be able to trap Master Firmament, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yuing, but what about Master Zhu Zhao? Zhu Zhao. He recovered. Not only did he recover, but he also benefited from the disaster and broke through to the Insightful Void Realm. Insightful Void Realm. Zhu Zhao of the Insightful Void Realm. This news immediately caused Tao Master He Tian to break down. No, impossible, impossible, how can Zhu Zhao advance to the Insightful Void Realm? Take them away. Tsing Hui waved his hand. The two interrogators quickly took He Tian and Mo Xian away and interrogated them separately. Just at this moment, Tsing Hui seemed to sense something. Suddenly, he shifted his consciousness to the Sky Dome realm in the Primal Chaos Shrine. The moment he entered the Sky Dome realm, he immediately saw the flustered Master Tsangzhen. Clearly, it was Master Tsangzhen who contacted him earlier. When Master Tsangzhen saw Tsing Hui arrive, he quickly asked, Tsing Hui, how are things going on your side? I've already dealt with most of them. However, there are still some loose ends that require someone to oversee. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he noticed the strange expression on Master Tsangzhen's face. He quickly asked, what happened? Something unexpected happened. We lost contact with Master Firmament and Master Zhu Zhao at the same time. We lost contact with Master Firmament and Master Zhu Zhao at the same time. Tsing Hui was slightly shocked. What's going on? Could it be because they're fighting with Wu Lu Holy Man, Styx River Holy Man, Wu Se Holy Man, and the others? They can't reply to your message. If that's the case, then that's great. I've already contacted the Wind Wing Sword Saint and Elder Fu Chu from the Sword Shadow sect in the Primal Chaos Shrine. I've asked them to contact Bai Heng, Long Rainbow, and Yuing. I hope they haven't lost contact with us. Whoosh. After Master Tsangzhen finished speaking, two figures appeared in the Primal Chaos Shrine. They were the Wind Wing Sword Saint and Elder Fu Chu. Seeing their worried expressions, Master Tsangzhen's heart sank. However, he immediately asked, how is it? Can you contact Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yuing? We can't contact them. Yuing hasn't replied either. The Wind Wing Sword Saint and Elder Fu Chu said. Could it be that their battle has reached its climax, so they can't be distracted? After all, the Heavenly Tao has a total of 7 great sages. Among them is an existence that far surpasses ordinary great sages like Holy Man Minghe. Even if we have esteemed Zhu Zhao on our side, it shouldn't be easy to defeat them. The Wind Wing Sword Saint said. That's not possible. Zunjin Exalted Master looked at Sword Saint Feng Yi and Elder Fu Chu and said, the others may have to focus on the battle and can't be distracted, but Zhu Zhao won't be out of touch for a long time. There's one thing that you don't know. Not long ago, Zhu Zhao reached the Insightful Void Realm and reached the Insightful Void Realm. He's different from Chaos Holy Master. Once he reaches the Insightful Void Realm, his battle strength will soar several times. Not to mention that he has Firmament, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yuing by his side. Even without them, Zhu Zhao, who is at the Insightful Void Realm, can suppress the 7 saints of the Heavenly Way by himself. Paradise Void Stage. Master Zhu Zhao has reached the Paradise Void Stage. This is too unbelievable. Once Master Zhuzhao enters the Paradise Void stage, won't he be invincible? From now on, who in the divine wilderness can be his match? The Wind-Winged Sword Saint and Elder Fu Chu were both shocked and delighted by this news. Now that they had formed an alliance with Tsang Qiong to fight against the Way of the Heavens, the stronger Tsang Qiong was, the better. Moreover, Tsang Qiong's style of doing things was different from the Way of the Heavens, the Eternal, and the Divine Wilderness. Even if Tsang Qiong was as strong as the Way of the Heavens, the Eternal, and the Divine Wilderness, he wouldn't be too harsh on his allies. Now is not the time to discuss these matters. We must find out what happened as soon as possible. Wind-Winged Sword Saint, the Causal Peak battlefield is the closest to your Rainbow Sword sect. The Rainbow Sword sect should send some Sword Saint level experts as soon as possible to investigate. Okay. The Wind-Winged Sword Saint nodded seriously. The Causal Peak is only 6,000 kilometers away from the Rainbow Sword sect. If the Rainbow Sword sect sends a powerful figure, we'll receive news in at most an hour. Song Jin said. There must be someone on the Calmly continent. Otherwise, the people of the Eternal and the Divine Wilderness haven't gone far, and the Way of the Heavens is still on the Calmly continent. There will definitely be chaos. You should send a powerful figure as soon as possible to replace me on the Calmly continent and let me return to the Divine Wilderness. Tsing Hui said seriously. A powerful figure? Tsang Zhen looked at Tsing Hui. 200,000 low-grade Li Qin stones, 30,000 high-grade Li Qin stones, and 4,000 peerless grade Li Qin stones. This is a huge sum of 5,000 to 6,000 Dao ripples. Without one or two divine sages, how can one powerful figure hold down the fort? Send a sword bearer? No. Tsang Zhen shook his head. There must be a saint-level battle force in the headquarters. Otherwise, once someone invades and destroys the mountain-protecting formation, we will become rootless duckweeds. When the time comes and the other party wants to deal with us, we can only passively take a beating. Speaking of this, he also persuaded. Zhu Zhao Venerable has now stepped into the insightful emptiness realm. With Zhu Zhao Venerable around, there shouldn't be any problems. Hearing this, Tsing Hui could only nod. In less than an hour, news finally came from Sword Saint Feng Yi. News has come back. Red Rock Sword Saint arrived at the battlefield at the fastest speed. Now the Karma Peak is in full swing. But according to him, the Way of the Heavens has not only the 7 great sages, but also the 9 supremes, including Lord of Heaven Heartless. Lord of Heaven Heartless. Lord of Heaven Heartless of the Grand Supreme. Tsang Zhen was slightly startled, but then he was relieved. Lord of Heaven Heartless can be classified as the 3rd type of divine sages. He is a person of the Grand Supreme. It seems that the Way of the Heavens has not only mobilized the power of the Divine Tao, but also the power of the Grand Supreme. The 9 great sages, including Wuqing and Mingyi, are also included. No wonder Zhu Zhao Venerable, Firmament Venerable, and the others are fighting so hard and have no time to care about other things. So we made a false alarm. After that, he turned to Tsing Hui again. The anxiety on his face faded by half. He smiled and said, although the Way of the Heavens has mobilized the power of the Grand Supreme, but at best, it can only barely resist Zhu Zhao Venerable. Unfortunately. I'm afraid the result of this battle will not be as glorious as we imagined. Wu Lu, this old man, is indeed meticulous. Even if we use Zhu Zhao Venerable as our trump card, we still can't gain much advantage. Chapter 664. Tsing Hui felt rather regretful after hearing this. Fortunately, there was no major issue here. Tsing Hui, you have to make arrangements on your side as soon as possible. I will help you contact a Void Walker and ask him to bring people to the island at the edge of the Conli continent, and then to the Conli continent. These are dust-repelling stones with 5,000 to 6,000 Daoist rhymes. The sooner you excavate them, the better. Otherwise, I'm afraid that in the face of such a huge prophet, the Tai Emperor, the Chaos Holy Man, and the Supreme God Ancient Barons, who are invincible in the Void Realm, will not be able to resist coming out of seclusion and make a move on these dust-repelling stones. I understand. I have many people from the Heavenly Tao under me, and I will urge them to excavate as soon as possible. If the Heavenly Tao can send a few thousand more saint-level members over, I am confident that we can excavate the important part of the dust-repelling stones in half a month. Okay, I will arrange it now. Master Tsongjin nodded. Immediately, Qing Su left the Chaos Divine Hall and summoned Su Fei again. Bring everyone from the other mines here. We need to excavate this mine as soon as possible. Yes, Senior. Su Fei answered respectfully and quickly did as he was told. Xing Hui nodded and patrolled the mines again. However, after one round, he vaguely felt that something was wrong, as if he was being spied on. Frowning, Xing Hui went directly to a group of buildings, activated the shadowless stance, and completely concealed his aura. Then, he used the Spirit Wanderer technique to manifest his primordial spirit, rose into the air, and used the aura examination technique to look in all directions. Soon, Xing Hui understood where this feeling of being spied on came from. 4,000 kilometers away, there were two majestic auras that went straight into the clouds. They were mighty and mighty, like the scorching sun hanging in the void, clearly visible. In addition, in another area more than 6,000 kilometers away, there were also four auras intertwined. Although they were not as mighty and magnificent as the two auras, they were not weak either. People from the eternal and divine wilderness. I spared their lives, but they dare to hide and not leave. Xing Hui's expression suddenly turned cold. In the next moment, his primordial spirit returned to his body, and then his figure rose into the air. Like a stream of light, he tore through the sky in an instant and whizzed toward the eternal realm with unbelievable speed. At that moment, the eternal battleship seemed to have left, but Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun and Emperor Lord Blacklight stayed behind alone. At this moment, Monarch Blacklight was using a special treasure to monitor the entire Bieli mountain range. When he sensed the sword light shooting out from the Bieli mountain range, Monarch Blacklight's expression immediately changed. Oh no, he discovered us. Discovered? Is he still in the mood to deal with us? Could it be that they hadn't received the news yet? I remember that the White Rainbow Sword sect is only 6,000 kilometers away from the battlefield, right? If the White Rainbow Sword sect's reaction is so slow, then it wouldn't be strange for them to be destroyed in the end. The Brilliant Sun Emperor frowned, but he still said, "All right, this child's combat strength is astonishing. My Yuan Qi has yet to recover, so it's indeed inappropriate for me to fight him head-on. Let's avoid him first." Monarch Blacklight and Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun nodded, then leaped and left quickly. However, in just a moment, when they sensed the rapidly approaching sharp and blazing aura, the two Eternal Saint powerhouses' expressions changed. So fast. What a fast flying speed. This flying speed. Oh no, let's go. Let's go. The Brilliant Sun Emperor's expression darkened, and he quickly accelerated. However, they had only accelerated for a moment. When they sensed the terrifying aura approaching at twice their speed, they helplessly stopped. We can't escape. Humph. If we can't escape, then so be it. We, the Eternal Realm, are not to be trifled with. At most, we'll spend 100 Taoist rhymes to use the teleportation technique to escape. However, if he really dares to force us to that point, we'll have a grudge. When Zhu Zhao, Heaven Dome, and the rest are all wiped out, I'll see how Heaven Dome can still be arrogant. The Black Light Emperor and the Bright Sun Emperor both stopped. They looked at Qing Su, who had shot over like a bolt of lightning, and their faces were cold. Brilliant Sun, Blacklight, the two of you are so bold. Since you don't want to leave normally, let me send you on your way. Rumble. A powerful sound wave accompanied by a violent sonic boom rapidly spread. In the roar, Tsing Hui's figure instantly appeared in front of Monarch Blacklight and Monarch Blacklight. Then, the Scarlet Abyss sword vibrated. Without any nonsense, a bright light condensed on the sword. Sun burst. Lunatic. Bastards. Yu Tianqiong Empire are courting death. Monarch Blacklight and Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun saw that Tsing Hui did not say anything and directly drew his sword to attack. They immediately roared in anger and at the same time, activated their respective divine abilities. Under the effect of the domain power, it was like a surging tsunami that collided with the falling sword light. The collision between the sword light and the domain was like a meteor falling into the sea. In an instant, intense light and monstrous waves were set off. However, before the monstrous waves could spread in all directions, the second and third meteors had already fallen, evaporating the vast sea with an unstoppable force. Without the obstruction of the sea, the remaining fourth and fifth meteors immediately tore through everything in front of them and engulfed Emperor Blacklight and Monarch Blacklight. Monarch Blacklight was so shocked that he had to burn the origin of his domain to unleash a stronger domain to resist. His swordsmanship is too powerful. We can't block it. Monarch Blacklight said anxiously. Damn it. Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun's expression was gloomy. Previously, when the four great sages joined forces to deal with Tsing Hui, they did not feel much. Now that Tsing Hui was venting his anger on the two of them, they immediately felt the terror of the sword of the sunburst. The thunderous attacks continued to explode crazily and directly tore apart the domain power that he, a saint, was so proud of. When others attacked the enemy's city or domain, they used cannonballs to bombard the ground. However, he directly used nuclear bombs and even bombarded them with nuclear bombs. Such an unreasonable way of fighting made the two great sages suffer. I'm afraid that even the Jade Emperor Holy Man and the Bottomless Chasm Holy Master are inferior to him. Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun said bitterly. Crazy. Crazy. Cho Tsing Hui, you're not saving your people from Heaven Dome, Baihong Sword Sect, and Sword Shadow. What's the meaning of this? Could it be that you want to watch as the people of Sky Vault, Rainbow Sword Sect, and Shadow Sword all die? Monarch Blacklight, who was burning the origin of his domain but was still being torn apart by Tsing Hui, roared furiously. Tsing Hui paused for a moment, then laughed coldly, saving the people from Heaven Dome, Baihong Sword Sect, and Sword Shadow. You're talking about the trap set by the Anisrava Holy Man. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that I, Venerable Zhu Zhao of Heaven Dome, will personally go there. With Venerable Zhu Zhao around, even if the Anisrava Holy Man's calculations are accurate, he won't be able to escape the fate of being overturned by Heaven Dome. You don't know. Don't tell me that the Baihong Sword Sect hasn't sent anyone to investigate. Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun was a little surprised. What's going on? Tsing Hui faintly felt that something was wrong. You shouldn't be able to contact the two sword masters of Heaven Dome and Baihong Sword Sect. You should know that there are only two ways to prevent people from communicating with the Chaos Temple and using the Chaos Temple to send messages. One is that the cultivator's spirit is so weak that it is unable to communicate with the Chaos Temple. The other is that the cultivator has already left this world and is in a space mezzanine or an endless void. The first way is usually when someone has been completely defeated. Calculating the time, Heaven Dome shouldn't have been defeated so quickly. As for the second way, that is when the cultivator is no longer in the divine wilderness world, and the inability to communicate with Heaven Dome, Sword Shadow, and Baihong Sword Sect is obviously the second way. Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun said. You mean they've shattered space? No. Although vacuum-shattering experts can shatter space, it won't affect communication with the Chaos Temple unless they enter an endless void or a space mezzanine. Are you trying to tell me that Heaven Dome, Master Zhu Zhao, Sword Master Baihang, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yuing have all been banished to a space mezzanine? Banishing a space mezzanine is something that no one in the divine wilderness can do. Even vacuum-shattering experts can only shatter the surface of space, which is far from banishing people. However, there is one person and one thing in the divine wilderness who can separate the battlefield and send it into an endless void. That thing is our eternal divine nation, and that person is the Chaos Realm formed after Chaos Holy Sovereign merged a 17th-tier supreme treasure into his own domain. Chaos Holy Sovereign's Chaos Realm. Xing Hui suddenly understood something. Chaos Holy Sovereign has come out of seclusion. He was able to eliminate Sword Master Bai Heng and Master Zhu Zhao, who were regarded as the greatest enemies of the heavenly Tao, in one breath, and it was related to the fight for the profits of 5,000 to 6,000 Taoist rhymes. Why didn't he come out of seclusion? Emperor Black Light sneered and said, when the Chaos Holy Man was in the Divine Realm, he once trapped 14 magnates in the Divine Realm for a day with his chaotic realm. Now that he has reached the Void Transformation Realm, do you think that Reverend Zhu Zhao, Firmament Master, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow and Sword Master Yuing can escape? He only needs to gather the power of the Heavenly Tao and move them to the Chaos Origin Realm. Then, he can kill all 5 of them. Even if he can't mobilize enough divinities, he can still kill them in 1 or 2 years with the help of the special battlefield in the Chaos Origin Realm that can't be replenished by the outside world. That's right. Therefore, Zhuo Qingshu, what you need to do now is to restrain the Divine Realm Giants of Heavenly Tao as soon as possible. Don't let them join forces and enter the chaotic primordial realm. Otherwise, the 5 strongest Divine Realm experts of Celestial Vault, Rainbow Sword Sect, and Sword Shadow will all perish in the chaotic primordial realm. Emperor Bright Sun chimed in. Chaos Realm, Qing Su's face sank. He could already guess the danger that the Heaven's Domain Master, Venerable Zhu Zhao, and so on faced. As a matter of fact, he could even guess that there was something wrong with the Scarlet Ping Sword Saint of the Rainbow Sword Sect. Otherwise, the 3 of them would not have wasted so much time. However, before that, no one is allowed to interfere in the Comely continent. You too, get lost to the space mezzanine. Chapter 665. Cho Tsing Hui, how dare you? How dare you trap us in a spatial mezzanine? When we return, we won't let you off. When the time comes, under the double attack of the Heavenly Tao and the Eternal Tao, you will be doomed eternally. Emperor Black Light and Emperor Bright Sun roared at the same time, but what awaited them was an even faster sunburst sword. Damn it, teleportation, go. Emperor Black Light growled, and the teleportation ripples spread out. However, basically at the same time that he activated the teleportation technique, Qing Su had already used the grief-parting world again. Under the interference of the grief-parting world, problems clearly appeared with Emperor Black Light's teleportation technique. However, as teleportation was a special ability grasped by the Son of Chaos, he was unable to stop it at all. He could only vanish as a spatial pulse with unwillingness and anger. Cho Tsing Hui. The remaining Emperor Bright Sun roared when he saw this scene. At the same time, he couldn't care less about fighting Tsing Hui. He turned around, and the destructive torrent formed by the Great Sun's demise smashed towards the Lihan Heaven realm. However, before his death of the Great Sun could land on the parting Hatred Heaven world, Qing Su's figure suddenly flickered, and he erupted with speed. He actually managed to intercept the death of the Great Sun that was hurtling towards the parting Hatred Heaven world. A sword of sunlight slashed down and forcefully shattered the death of the Great Sun, causing it to explode into flames. However, before the flames could completely disperse, his second sword of sunlight had already arrived. If there were 2 of you, one of you would pin me down while the other attacked the Lihan Heaven realm, I wouldn't be able to do anything to you. But, you alone, you can't break the Lihan Heaven realm. Tsing Hui's voice echoed in the blazing light, making Emperor Bright Sun sullen and angry. Powerful domain power continued to revolve around him, and beams of Great Sun's demise continuously blasted out in all directions. However, Tsing Hui's speed was simply too fast, so much so that every attack of the brilliant Sun Emperor was easily intercepted by him. After a few breaths of time, not only did the brilliant Sun Emperor fail to cause any damage to the Lihan Heaven realm, but the power of his own realm was also mostly destroyed by Tsing Hui's Sword of Sunlight, forming a large vacuum. The brilliant Sun Emperor's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. Cho Tsing Hui, you better pray that I will only find a way to return after your Heaven's Vault has resolved this crisis. Otherwise, you can just wait for the Heavenly Tao and our Eternal Tao to join forces to attack your Heaven's Vault. As soon as he finished speaking, the fluctuation of the teleportation spell flashed across his body. Huh! Tsing Hui's eyes were also filled with ferocity. However, when he thought of the incomprehensible characteristic of the teleportation technique, he felt helpless even if he wanted to make the brilliant Sun Emperor stay. As he put away the Lihan Heaven realm again, he looked in the direction where the brilliant Sun Emperor had left with a faint sense of unwillingness. Could it be that the teleportation technique really can't be solved unless I use the War of Chaos to strip the opponent of their chaos level, or if his teleportation technique happens to be in cooldown? Every time I defeat the opponent's divinity, the opponent can use the teleportation technique to escape. As he thought about this, a light bulb suddenly flashed in Tsing Hui's mind. I wonder if the characteristic of the dimensional lock born at the 60th level of chaos will work. The dimensional lock can lock onto a location, and the target will return after 24 hours. What if I set the dimensional lock on the enemy? When he thought of this, Tsing Hui's eyes suddenly lit up. If the target's teleportation technique teleported him to a spatial mezzanine, he could ignore it. After all, if he rashly entered a spatial mezzanine, he would face a much more dangerous situation than a divinity who had condensed a domain's origin. However, if the opponent's teleportation technique teleported him to a location that he thought was safe, then, he could use the dimensional lock's characteristic to suddenly appear in front of the opponent and kill him in one blow. However, the only problem with this characteristic was, what if the opponent returned to their base camp? If he used the dimensional lock, wouldn't he be trapped in the enemy's camp? Wait a minute, if I remember correctly, those large sects with deep foundations basically have a large number of dust-repellent stones that are specially used to interfere with teleportation techniques. Therefore, even if the enemy returns to the sect, he will at most be at the mountain gate and will not be able to enter the mountain's protective array. As long as the dimensional lock is activated quickly enough and does not give him time to enter the protective array, activate quickly enough, if he used the backtrack technique to deduce the dimensional lock, as long as his dimensional lock could reach the 5th level, he would be able to freely control the activation time after it mutated. 600 Taoist Rhymes. Let's give it a try. If it really works, the law of divinities being almost impossible to kill will be broken in my hands. Tsing Hui immediately came to a decision. After solving the problem of Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun and Emperor Lord Black Light, Tsing Hui turned around and once again chased after the Almighties of the Divine Wilderness. The Almighties of the Divine Wilderness clearly had a special method to spy on Tsing Hui. After sensing that Tsing Hui had attacked Emperor Lord Brilliant Sun and Emperor Lord Black Light, they quickly turned around and fled. However, no matter how fast they could not be faster than Tsing Hui, who was flying on his sword at over 100,000 kilometers per hour. Soon, the four Almighties, Xue Xiao, Qi Wuming, Hurricane, and Dusk, were severely injured and captured by him with the power of his sword. Based on the current situation, Tianxiong had already started an all-out war with the heavenly axiom. It was not a good time to make new enemies. Therefore, after capturing Xue Xiao, Qi Wuming, Hurricane, and Dusk alive, he did not kill them. He only locked them up first and considered how to deal with them after the battle between Tianxiong and the heavenly axiom came to an end. Swoosh! With a flash of light, Tsing Hui had already returned to the Bieli mountain range. Senior! Su Fei and Scorpion immediately went up to him. Tsing Hui's gaze immediately turned to Scorpion. Has the lightning punishment been attacked? Yes. It's all thanks to Senior defeating their reinforcements and causing him to have a mental breakdown. I only need to torture him a little and he has already spat out all the treasures and chaos techniques in his personal storage space. Scorpion replied respectfully. All right. Xing Hui replied heavily. The lightning punishment Dailord's items had come at the right time. With Scorpion leading the way, Xing Hui quickly arrived at a room. Upon entering the room, the first thing that entered Xing Hui's eyes was the lightning punishment Dailord's rank 13 Thunder God Spear and the rank 14 4 Divisions Pearl. The 4 Divisions Pearl is a defensive treasure that can only be found by chance. Even many saints may not have it. Such precious items can only be sold within the Sky Dome sect and Rainbow Sword sect. Selling it to others is equivalent to funding the enemy and will only increase the enemy's strength. However, the Thunder God Spear can be sold as soon as possible. A rank 13 divine weapon might not be as valuable as a rank 13 armor, but it can still be easily sold for 300 Taoist rhymes in a hurry. The lightning punishment Tao Lord was clearly one of the top existences among the 36 Tao Lords. Otherwise, the heavenly Tao would not have entrusted him with such an important task of overseeing the Comely continent. Therefore, not only did he have a powerful divine weapon, but his chaos level had also reached an astonishing rank, 29. In addition, Xing Hui had also obtained 124 Taoist rhymes from him. Clearly, if Xing Hui had not defeated the lightning punishment Tao Lord with sword intent, he could have raised his chaos level to rank 30 and teleported away. A rank 29 chaos level can easily be sold for 150 Taoist rhymes in a hurry. In addition to the Thunder Punishment Dailord's Taoist treasure and the Thunder God Spear that he intends to sell. I have close to 600 Taoist rhymes in total. Xing Hui did some calculations and was very satisfied with his gains. He could not help but look forward to the gains from the Black Sky Tao Lord and Demonic Mantle Tao Lord. However, with the willpower of an astronomical phenomenon expert, it was not difficult for him to endure 2 to 3 days of torture. If the lightning punishment Tao Lord had not suffered a few days of torture and suffered a severe mental breakdown from Xing Hui, he would not have been in such a sorry state. Therefore, it would take a few more days for the Black Sky Tao Lord and Demonic Mantle Tao Lord to submit to him. However, the current situation in Sky Dome sect made it impossible for him to wait any longer. Su Fei. Senior, what are your orders? Xing Hui waved his hand and a huge machine that was 3 meters tall appeared in front of him. This is the Scarlet Sun Demon God. The Scarlet Sun Demon God. Although Su Fei was only a cultivator from a small place like the Conli continent, he had been in the Chaos Divine Palace to connect with the outside world. Naturally, he had heard about the Scarlet Sun Demon God who had caused a stir. His eyes immediately lit up. Sir, this is, the Scarlet Sun Demon God is equivalent to an astronomical phenomenon expert. Even if you go in and control it, you will be able to unleash combat power that surpasses that of an ordinary almighty. I have to leave the Conli continent for a period of time. If anyone from the heavenly Tao dares to cause trouble, kill them with the Scarlet Sun Demon God. Do you understand? Yes, Senior. Su Fei looked at the powerful Scarlet Sun Demon God in front of him and could not help but feel excited when he thought of those saints who were several realms stronger than him being killed by this terrifying monster. If there are any problems that you can't solve, send me a message immediately. Xing Hui said. Time was of the essence and he could not delay any longer. He immediately projected his consciousness into the Chaos Temple and was about to contact Master Tsongzhen to get a spiritual coordinate. However, before he could find Master Tsongzhen had already found him with a serious expression. Xing Hui, things are not good. The Chaos Holy Man has personally taken everyone into the Chaos Realm. The culprit behind all of this is the Red Rock Sword Sage of the White Rainbow Sword Sect. He leaked all of our plans to the Anisrava Holy Man. Now, the Heavenly Axiom is trying its best to gather all the available divinities from all over the world, trying to send them into the Primal Chaos Realm to kill Firmament, Zhu Zhao, Baiheng, Long Rainbow, and Yuing who are trapped in the Primal Chaos Realm. We must stop them. The Scarlet Rock Sword Sage. Although Tsing Hui had already guessed that there was something wrong with the Scarlet Rock Sword Sage, his eyes were still filled with killing intent when he heard Master Cang Zhen's words. The Scarlet Rock Sword Sage has already escaped from the White Rainbow Sword sect. However, now is not the time to track his whereabouts. We have to find a way to stop the Saints of the Heavenly Tao from entering the Chaos Realm. Tsing Hui, we have to put aside the matter of the Comely continent. Although it is related to the profit of 5,000 to 6,000 Taoist rhymes, if we don't handle the matter of the Comely Peak well, firmament will be in danger of being destroyed. I understand. I'll be right back. Chapter 666. Tsing Hui did not return to the heavens, but to the Baihong Sword sect. At this point, the Zhangzhen master had already rushed to the Baihong Sword sect. The person in charge of hosting the meeting at the Baihong Sword sect was the Pengguang Sword Master. After being betrayed by his most trusted disciple, the Pengguang Sword Master was visibly dispirited. Besides the Pengguang Sword Master, 2 other divine sword masters from the Sword Shadow sect had arrived. They were the Xingyi Sword Master and the current Chengying Sword Master. The current Chengying Sword Master was one of the best in the divine stage. After inheriting the Chengying sword, he was given the title of Chengying Sword Master. He was one of the best in the 10 most powerful cultivators, and was much stronger than the Holy Master of the Bottomless Chasm and the Jade Emperor Holy Man, Pengguang Sword Master, Xingyi Sword Master, Chengying Sword Master. Tsing Hui nodded at the 3 sword masters in the main hall. When they saw Qing Su's arrival, aside from the other great figures, the Pengguang Sword Master, the Xingyi Sword Master, and even the Shadow-bearing Sword Master all stood up at the same time. They said seriously, Sword Master White Ruins. To boost their morale, news of Tsing Hui defeating 5 divine stage cultivators, including the sky-splitting Holy Master, the Zhurong Holy Man and the brilliant Sun Emperor, was spread by the Zhangzhen Master. This battle was enough to establish Tsing Hui's status as a divine stage cultivator. When they saw Tsing Hui, the Pengguang Sword Master, Xingyi Sword Master and the Chengying Sword Master all stood up to show their respect. After all, even though the Chengying Sword Master was on the list of most powerful cultivators, his strength was completely based on the Chengying sword, a Class 18 divine weapon. Without the Chengying sword, he was barely a Class 3 or even a Class 2 divine stage cultivator. Just call me Tsing Hui. Pak Hui is just a pseudonym of the Chaos Holy Hall. Tsing Hui said. The Xingyi Sword Master and the Chengying Sword Master smiled and nodded. It's unfortunate that something like this happened to our family. I'm sorry. The Pengguang Sword Master's face was full of regret. Man walks to higher places, water flows to lower places. Before the trump card of esteemed Zhu Zhao was revealed, everyone felt that they would have a better future if they followed the heavenly axiom. Therefore, it was not strange for phenomena like the broken sword and the red rock to appear. Let's not talk about the past. What's the situation over there now? At present, the entire Karma Peak has been covered by the Chaos Realm. We can't see what's happening inside, but we can infer from the occasional distortion of the Chaos Realm that the battle is still going on. The Pengguang Sword Master said, the only good news at present is that esteemed Zhu Zhao has broken through to the profound void realm. It's not as easy for the Chaos Holy Master to trap esteemed Zhu Zhao, who is at the profound void realm, as he has to maintain the stability of the Chaos Realm at all times. Therefore, if we really want to capture esteemed Zhu Zhao, the Firmament Holy Master, the Baihong Sword Master, the Rainbow Sword Master, and the Shadow Sword Master in one fell swoop, there are only 2 ways. One is to use the Chaos Realm's characteristic of cutting off the pneuma of the outside world to exhaust the 5 great saints of the 3 parties to death. However, the aura of Saint Realm experts is long. It will take at least 1 or 2 years to exhaust the 5 great saints of the 3 parties to death. The other way is to send saints into the Chaos Realm. As long as there are enough saints in the Chaos Realm, they will be able to kill us one by one. Even if we can't kill them, the 5 great saints of the 3 parties will consume their strength when fighting with these saints, which will indirectly achieve the purpose of exhausting the 5 great saints of the 3 parties. If we only rely on exhausting the 7 great saints of the 3 parties, they may be in danger, but they won't be able to exhaust esteemed Zhu Zhao to death. Xing Hui said. Reverend Zhu Zhao had the originator in his body. The originator could continuously absorb energy from the alternate space to replenish itself. Therefore, it was impossible to exhaust Reverend Zhu Zhao to death. Reverend Zhu Zhao would probably still be alive and kicking even if Chaos Holy Man ran out of energy. Can't exhaust him to death. The Pengguang Swordmaster was slightly taken aback and somewhat confused. However, after hearing his words, the 3 Swordmasters were relieved at the same time. The battle strength of esteemed Zhu Zhao alone is equivalent to the total strength of the Firmament Holy Master, the Baiheng Swordmaster, and the others. If the method of exhaustion is ineffective on esteemed Zhu Zhao, then we will have a much longer time to maneuver. As long as we pin down enough saints of the Way of Heaven in the outside world and prevent more than 10 saints from entering the Chaos Realm, we won't have to worry about their lives for 3 or 4 years. 10 saints. The Way of Heaven can gather 10 saints. The Chaos Holy Master can't move, the Zhurong Holy Master has been killed by me, the Lihan Holy Master has yet to return, and the Qingwei Holy Master is severely injured. That's 4 less. The Divine Path sect needs a saint to guard the sect and can't move. The remaining 4, including the 4 from the Way of Heaven, are only 8. Even if we include the Heavenly Lord of Heartless, there are only 9. Furthermore, will the Way of Heaven really dare to come out in full force? The saints of the other factions don't dare to come out in full force, but the Way of Heaven, they really dare. Swordmaster Xingyi smiled bitterly. The Way of Heaven has the strongest protective mountain array in the entire Divine Wilderness. Its level is above the Eternal and Divine Wilderness 13th level, reaching an astonishing 15th level. You didn't hear wrong, it's not 14th level, but 15th level. This is a supreme array set up by an array formation master of the Way of Heaven in ancient times. This array formation was originally 17th level, but because there was no one to maintain it, it was constantly weakened and maintained at 15th level. However, a 15th level array is still enough to make the Way of Heaven impregnable. Even ordinary vacuum level experts would find it difficult to break through it. Even if this array formation was presided over by a mighty figure or an embodiment of heaven or earth realm expert, it would be impossible for less than 2 saint realm experts to break through it. Swordmaster Xingyi's words rendered Xing Hui somewhat speechless. The Way of Heaven was an array formation master. They could even set up a 12th level array formation in a small place like Karma Peak that was similar to an outpost. It was an array formation that was equivalent to the protective mountain array of a top sect. What could they do? In fact, if they really fought head-on, the Divine Wilderness's overall strength was definitely above the Way of Heaven. However, once the array formations were included, the Way of Heaven would immediately become the strongest faction in the Divine Wilderness. This was also the reason why the Way of Heaven dared to stir up trouble in the Divine Wilderness. They had nothing to fear. Like the Divine Wilderness and Eternal, they were much more low-key than the Way of Heaven. Is there a way to destroy the Chaos Primordial World? Xing Hui asked. Impossible. Swordmaster Pengguang shook his head and said somewhat dejectedly, the Chaos Primordial World's sturdiness is beyond your imagination. Especially the insightful Void Realm, which focuses on increasing one's defense, it has allowed the Chaos Primordial World, who is already adept at defense, to reach an almost heaven-defying level. For example, during the Saint Realm, if we could gather 10 saints, we would be able to tear his Chaos Primordial World apart. However, at the insightful Void Realm, even if we could gather 10 insightful Void Realm giants, we would not be able to do anything to his Chaos Primordial World. I even suspect that even if an invincible vacuum-level expert were to personally attack, it would not be something that could be done in a short period of time. Swordmaster Xingyi nodded. Then we can only drag it out. The point is, if we drag it out, we may not be able to. Sword Master Pengguang said regretfully, according to my understanding, esteemed Zhu Zhao suddenly attacked and severely injured Wu Lu Dao Master, but he did not kill him. In addition, he attacked again and forced a saint of the divine path to use a teleportation technique to escape into a spatial mezzanine. Even so, the Way of Heaven and the Divine Path sect still have 7 saints. In addition to Heavenly Lord Merciless and a mysterious saint from outside the infinite wasteland domain, there are 9 saints. Even if the Divine Path sect must leave someone to guard it, there are still 8 people who can be mobilized, and our side. At this point, he glanced at Xing Hui, then at Swordmaster Xingyi, Swordmaster Qingying, and the others, but did not say anything. 3. Their side only had 3 saints who could be mobilized. If the situation becomes dangerous, Swordmaster Xingyi of Sword Shadow can also step in. Swordmaster Xingyi said. Swordmaster Xingyi was the swordmaster in charge of Sword Shadow, like Swordmaster Pengguang of the Rainbow Sword Sect and the Swordmaster of Firmament Domain. However, Firmament Domain and Sword Shadow belonged to the Primal Chaos organization, and their foundation was in the Primal Chaos Divine Palace and not the real world. At the critical moment, they could be mobilized. For saints is still not enough, because I am worried that they will take advantage of the fact that the main forces of our 3 forces are trapped in the Primal Chaos Domain to attack our sect. When Sword Master Pengguang said this, his expression turned solemn. Anisrava Dao Sovereign is the #1 array master in the Divine Wilderness. Our protective array can withstand other sages, but against Anisrava Dao Sovereign, it might not be able to do its job. The array is ineffective and the other party has 8 sages. If they all attack together, they can completely destroy Heaven Vault Sect, Rainbow Sword Sect, and Sword Shadow. The only thing to be thankful for now is that Wu Lu Dao Master has been severely injured by esteemed Zhu Zhao. We still have a few months to think of a way to resolve the crisis. It is best if we can find enough reinforcements. Otherwise, once Wu Lu Dao Master recovers from his injuries and leads the 8 saints to come back, we 4 saints will not be able to resist. Swordmaster Xingyi said. Being divine doesn't necessarily mean having more people. The Chaos Holy Man who put us in danger alone is the best example. Xing Hui stood up at this time. There is no point in discussing more here. Let's go to Causal Peak and take a look. Okay. Heaven Lord Heartless, Wu Lu Dao Master, Tai Huang Dao Master, as well as Heaven Lord Water Virtue, Heaven Lord Cloud Virtue, and Heaven Lord Shangshan of the Divine Path sect are on Causal Peak. There are 6 saints in total. It is not safe for you to go alone. We will go with you. Swordmaster Shadow Bearing Sword said. Although Master Tsang Zhen had said that Xing Hui had the battle strength of a supreme expert, the Shadow Bearing Sword, Swordmaster Xingyi, and the others were still worried because they had not seen it with their own eyes. Xing Hui pondered for a while, then nodded. Alright, let's go together. Swordmaster Pengguang also said, we will activate the protective mountain formation of the Fogbow Sword sect. If you encounter any danger, just return to the Fogbow Sword sect. I believe that without Wu Lu Dao Master, they would not dare to barge into the Fogbow Sword sect. Xing Hui and the others nodded. The 3 of them leaped up and headed in the direction of Causal Peak. Chapter 667. Karma Peak. Xing Hui, the Qingying Swordmaster and the Xingyi Swordmaster looked in that direction from afar. Even though they were a few hundred kilometers away, they could still clearly see the chaotic world above the Karma Peak. This chaotic world was extremely large, spanning a few hundred kilometers. It was as if a gray ball of gas had condensed into a single entity. Outside the ball of gas, there were surging balls of gas. From time to time, one could see streaks of fire escaping from the ball of gas, accompanied by faint dragon roars. That was the counterattack of the Zhu Zhao exalted being. Unfortunately, the Primal Chaos Holy Man's Primal Chaos Realm was the most powerful restraining method in the Divine Wilderness. When he had just stepped into the first saint stage and formed the primal chaos realm, he had already been able to trap the 14 saints for a day. It should be known that the 14 saints were not ordinary saints, and there were many outstanding saints among them. Under such circumstances, the Chaos Holy Man was able to trap the 14 divine saints for a day. One could imagine how powerful the chaotic world was. Heavenly Lord Heartless, Styx River Holy Man, Wuxia Holy Man, Water Virtue Heavenly Lord, Cloud Virtue Heavenly Lord Shangshan. 6 divine saints, not one is missing. Qing Su looked at the place where the chaotic world was located sternly. Styx River Holy Man is also here. It seems like the Grand Emperor Holy Man is in charge of the heavenly way. The Xingyi Swordmaster frowned. Among the 6 divine saints, the Heavenly Lord Heartless was the most powerful. He belonged to the 3rd type of divine saint. Even though he was slightly inferior to the sky-splitting Holy Man, he only needed to team up with any other divine saint to be comparable to the Qingyi Swordmaster. The remaining Styx River Holy Man and the Heavenly Lord Shangshan belonged to the 2nd type of divine saint. The Styx River Holy Man was one of the best in the 2nd type of divine saint. He was very close to the 3rd type of divine saint. His combat power was not inferior to the Heavenly Lord. If these 2 divine saints worked together and had the support of another divine saint, they could still match up to an ultimate divine saint. I will think of a way to deal with the Styx River Swordmaster and the Heavenly Lord Heartless. Swordmaster Xingyi, you will deal with the Wuxia Holy Man. The rest will be left to you, Xinghui. How about that? The master of the shadow-bearing sword muttered to himself for a while before assigning the items. As for whether Xinghui truly possessed the powers of an ultimate powerhouse, he was not very confident. After all, even though Xinghui had defeated the Heaven Way, Eternity and the Divine Wilderness, according to what he knew, before Xinghui attacked the 5 great holy beings, they had already fought. No one knew the state of the 5 great holy beings and the extent of their injuries. Furthermore, the sky-splitting holy man was forced to teleport away by Xinghui's sneak attack. That was why Xinghui's powers could not be fully displayed in that battle. It was because of this that the Qingyi Sword's owner chose to take on the Styx River Holy Man and the Heavenly Lord of Mercilessness. Alright, I will deal with the rest. At the same time, I will think of a way to attack the chaotic primordial world. Then you have to be careful. According to what we know, Exalted Zhujiao, Exalted Firmament, and the others attacked Karma Peak but did not completely destroy the mountain protecting array on Karma Peak. Although the mountain protecting array was damaged to a certain extent, it still has a great deterrent force after being activated. And the primal chaos realm is within the range of the Karma Peak's mountain protecting array. The master of the Xingyi sword reminded him seriously. The protective formation of the Karma Peak, Xinghui pondered for a while, perhaps I have a way to completely destroy the protective formation of the Karma Peak. Oh. The eyes of the master of the Xingyi sword lit up. Then what are you waiting for? The master of the shadow-bearing sword also urged. In fact, the reason why they found it difficult to rescue the chaotic primordial world was mainly because they were wary of the protective formation of the Karma Peak. If the protective formation of the Karma Peak was not included, the 3 of them, with 2 supreme experts, might not be much weaker than the Sky Dao and the Divine Path sect combined. At the very least, if the Sky Dao really dared to let all the Divine Path sages enter the chaotic primordial world to exhaust the Zhenjiao Holy Man and the rest, they could totally join forces to destroy the Divine Path sect's mountain gate and even cause the Sky Dao great losses. I need some time. Xinghui said, then began to use the aura examination technique to investigate the earth vein of the Karma Peak. A 12th level formation. The power of the earth vein is indeed extremely strong. Furthermore, it is no longer limited to drawing power from the earth vein. More of its power comes from the void, from the laws. Xinghui observed for a while and frowned slightly. What's wrong? The master of the shadow-bearing sword asked when he noticed that Xinghui's expression was not right. It's a little troublesome. I thought that I would be able to destroy this formation very quickly, but now it seems that it won't be an easy task. It would be much more difficult for him to destroy this grand formation if it wasn't completely set up by the energy of the earth veins. Fortunately, esteemed Zhu Zhao, esteemed Sky Dome, and the others had already torn open many holes in the Karma Peak's grand formation. So long as he destroyed the grand formation's earth veins, then even if the grand formation didn't vanish completely, its might would plummet. At the very least, it wouldn't be able to affect saints any longer. Can it work? Let me try. Tsing Hui said. Before long, Tsing Hui had already understood the earth vein of the Karma Peak. Then, his figure flashed and he landed on a mountain peak that was only 1,000 kilometers away from the Karma Peak. After landing on the mountain peak, Tsing Hui immediately took out a treasure that he had not used for a long time. It was the earth-shaking rod that could cause the earth to tremble. As his cultivation increased, the effects of this item naturally increased by a lot. After taking out the earth-shaking rod, Tsing Hui infused it with his true origin and began to hit the ground. As soon as he hit it, a crack with a diameter of 100 meters appeared on the ground. A terrifying tremor spread through the crack and into the depths of the ground. If this power was used against a protective formation of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, it would only take a few hits to completely destroy the formation foundation of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. However, the earth vein of the formation of the Karma Peak was too vast. As Tsing Hui continued to attack, the tremor grew stronger and stronger. If this continued, it could form a prairie fire and completely destroy the Karma Peak. However, the speed was much slower than Tsing Hui had imagined. This unique treasure is really extraordinary. Sword Master Xingyi sensed for a moment and quickly understood the principles behind the earth-shaking rod's operation. His eyes immediately lit up. This treasure destroys formations by destroying earth veins and mountain ranges. It's extremely effective against ordinary great formations. Even if a level 12 great formation is embedded in the void and can absorb energy from the void, once the earth veins are destroyed, the might of the formation will still be greatly reduced. At that time, it won't require 2 or even 3 times the strength to break through the enemy's base. Even so, the effect is still too weak against a 12th level formation. Once we use the earth-shaking rod to attack, they will naturally sense it. At that time, we only need to take the initiative to attack. Furthermore, my attack cannot be too far away from the formation. After they have exhausted their energy, they can return to replenish it. However, we have to stay here and be on full alert. Naturally, our situation will not be easy. As Tsing Hui spoke, he gave up on the idea of using the earth-shaking rod to destroy the formation of the Karma Peak. This kind of tactic can only be used when we have a huge advantage. The shadow-bearing Sword Master sighed. Sword Master Xingyi nodded his head. They did not have an advantage against the Heavenly Way. If they still had to waste the power of a supreme expert like Tsing Hui, how could they fight? I hope that our actions have already attracted them over. At that time, they will definitely attack me first. Let me see if I can take advantage of the fact that they are not familiar with my powers to explode with all my power and defeat one of them. Tsing Hui said. You killed the Zhurong holy man and forced the Qin Wei holy woman to escape using her teleportation technique. The Heavenly Way should have received the news. Sword Master Xingyi did not have high hopes. We will do our best and leave the rest to fate. Tsing Hui also did not have much confidence. As the tremors on the ground became stronger and stronger, the 6 great sages of the Heavenly Way and the Celestial Way rushed over. When they sensed that Tsing Hui, the shadow-bearing Sword Master, the Xingyi Sword Master and the rest were trying to destroy the formation of the Karma Peak, the Styx River holy man laughed. I was wondering who it was. So it's the scoundrels from the Shadow Sword sect. Why, you are finally not hiding and amusing yourselves, and have chosen to reveal yourselves. Be careful, holy man. If I am not wrong, the young man who is controlling the strange object and trying to destroy the formation of the Karma Peak is Tsing Hui from the heavens. He has awakened an unparalleled abhijna and possesses an unparalleled divine weapon. According to the Qin Wei holy woman, with the power of his abhijna and divine weapon, his powers are not inferior to that of a supreme expert. Wuxia holy man said softly. It's him. The death of the Zhurong holy man is suspected to be caused by him. The Styx River holy man's gaze landed on Tsinghui and his eyes were filled with ferocity. Styx River, I have seen news of Tsinghui before. He has cultivated for less than 40 years and has already achieved so much. If he is not eliminated early, he will become a huge threat to us. Wuxia, I need you to use your colorless spell to trap the shadow-bearing sword master and the Xingyi sword master. The rest of us will combine our powers and try to kill him. The heavenly Lord Wuqing said coldly. If I am to trap the shadow-bearing sword master and the Xingyi sword master, I can only hold on for 3 breaths. Furthermore, if the colorless spell is destroyed, my origin will be damaged. When that happens, unless I use my innate spiritual aura to make up for it, I will not be able to fight in a short period of time. Wuxia holy man said unwillingly. The Styx River holy man waved his hand, the heavenly Lord Wuqing is right. Tsinghui is too big a threat. He has cultivated for less than 40 years and has already achieved so much. If he is allowed to continue growing, he will threaten the plan of the heavenly way. That's why we have to kill him before he becomes too powerful to resist. His threat is not inferior to that of Zhu Zhao. Wuxia holy man heard the Styx River holy man's words. Although he was unwilling, he still nodded his head reluctantly. I will try my best to delay them. All right. As the Styx River holy man said, the group of them had already arrived above Tsinghui, the shadow-bearing sword master and the Xingyi sword master. After that, they did not waste any time and shouted, "Kill!" In the next moment, the formless Tao Venerate took the lead, directly enveloping the shadow-bearing sword master and the Xingyi sword master with the formless world barrier. Afterwards, the Nether River Taoist, the Heavenly Lord of Heartless, the Heavenly Lord of Goodness, the Heavenly Lord of Water Virtue, and the Heavenly Lord of Cloud Virtue lunged down at the same time. Terrifying, tremendous power of domains descended from above, devouring Qing Su immediately. Chapter 668. His first target is the Tsinghui sword master. Oh no, the Tsinghui sword master is extremely talented. He cannot fall so easily. Furthermore, he has yet to enter the divine stage. Once he is trapped in the void, his chances of escaping alive are less than half of a normal divine sage. The shadow-bearing sword and Xingyi sword master sensed the intentions of the Styx River holy man, the heavenly lord of ruthlessness and the rest. They exploded and a powerful sword aura shot into the heavens, converting into huge swords. They clashed with the colorless spell world of the colorless holy man. A circle of energy ripples that were visible to the naked eye shot in all directions, tearing the surrounding air into pieces. Whereas the expression of the colorless holy man changed. The vital energy in his body was disrupted by the tremors and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Hurry up! The colorless holy man roared. After that, the origin of his domain was ignited and converted into a torrent of energy that was injected into the colorless spell world. This stabilized the colorless spell world. Suppress him. Love Destroyer. Fallen Styx River. Control Spell. As the shadow-bearing sword and Xingyi sword master clashed with the colorless holy man, the attacks of the 5 divine sages had already turned into a torrential storm. They surrounded Tsinghui from all directions. Even though his speed was twice as fast as a normal divine sage, he was still helpless against such an unavoidable attack. As he faced the attacks of the 5 divine sages, he made a decision in his mind. He locked his gaze on the Styx River holy man, who was the fastest. He allowed the fallen Styx River to corrode his body and did not dodge. He roared and his sword mind and abhijna were unleashed. He was like a bright shooting star that was burning his essence and life. He carried an intense aura as he clashed with the Styx River holy man. As the Styx River holy man saw Tsing Hui charging towards him, a ferocious look flashed across his eyes. At this point, if he dodged, Tsing Hui would definitely create an opening for him. From there, he would be able to escape from the encirclement of the 5 divine sages. But if he did not dodge, at best, both sides would suffer great losses. Furthermore, as he was surrounded by Heavenly Monarch Wuqing, Heavenly Monarch Shangshan, Heavenly Monarch Shuide, and other saints, before Tsing Hui and Heavenly Monarch Tsing Hui were both severely injured, the second round of attacks from these saints would have already arrived and minced him into pieces. Suppress him. Nether River holy man let out a low roar, and the torrential river formed by the fallen Nether River collided rapidly with the sword light of the Sword of Sunlight that Tsing Hui had slashed into the void. In an instant, a shockwave visible to the naked eye exploded and swept wildly in all directions. Then, before it could spread for 100 meters, it was crushed and suppressed by the power of the domain that was constantly surging. Sun burst. A long roar erupted the moment the Nether River holy man's fallen underworld river was defeated. Then, it was the 3rd sword, the 4th sword, the 5th sword. As he was surrounded by the 5 divine sages, Tsing Hui did not dare to hold back anymore. Streaks and streaks of Sword of Sunlight that were activated to the extreme were like blazing suns. They exploded crazily and tore the domain of the Styx River holy man into pieces. In addition, with Tsing Hui's new understanding of the rules of nature, even though he was not using the divine spell, he was still able to unleash an attack that was close to destroying the vacuum. As the rules of nature trembled, his sword had already torn the domain of the Styx River holy man into pieces. Such a powerful sword technique. Not good. As the Styx River holy man felt the sword radiance that was coming towards him, he immediately retreated. And at this point, the Heavenly Monarch Wuqing and the Heavenly Monarch Shuide, who were following closely behind him, finally arrived. The Heavenly Monarch Wuqing's Love Destroyer slashed down. The Love Destroyer did not seem to possess any power, nor did it possess any earth-shattering might, but it seemed to have completely fused with space. It was silent and as fast as lightning. When Qing Su managed to catch onto the trajectory of the slash had already landed on his body, splitting him open from his shoulder. At the same time, the Love Destroyer intent within the Love Destroyer slashed into his mental world, causing his mental world to shake violently. It was so great that a regular saint would have been stunned for half a second if he had been in Qing Su's place. Die. And taking advantage of this opportunity, the Heavenly Monarch Shuide had already clenched his fist. All the blood in Tsing Hui's body seemed to be pulled by an invisible force and was about to be sucked out completely. After that, it turned into a destructive force and blew him into pieces. But just as the blood in Tsing Hui's body was about to explode under the control of the Heavenly Monarch Shuide, Tsing Hui suddenly opened his eyes wide. A powerful sword aura came crashing down and shook the Heavenly Monarch Shuide's spiritual world violently. Immediately, the Heavenly Monarch Shuide thought that he could kill Tsing Hui with one strike. Even though his reaction speed was extremely fast and he woke up from Tsing Hui's sword aura, what welcomed him was a blazing fire that burned void space. Not good, he is not affected by the Love Destroyer. Shuide, retreat. The Heavenly Monarch Shangshan let out a low roar and then suddenly clapped his hands together in the direction of Tsing Hui. His domain power collided with the clapping of his hands, and a visible void shock wave burst out from the center of the collision. The shock wave swept out at an extremely fast speed. The domain power that the Heavenly Monarch Shuide did not have time to withdraw in time was like a piece of tofu that was bombarded by the sonic boom and was instantly shattered. From this, one could see how powerful the shock wave was. Void shock wave. The blazing flame torrent and the void shock wave came one after another. If Tsing Hui really wanted to slash down with his sword, then the moment his sword light swept past the Heavenly Monarch Shuide, his body would definitely be crushed into powder by the shock wave. Besieging Wei to rescue Zhao. This was the method of besieging Wei to rescue Zhao. When the heavenly monarch Shuai saw this scene, there was even a trace of relief in his eyes. He did not believe that this talented peerless genius in front of him would sacrifice himself for the people of Tianqiong and choose to ignore the void shock wave behind him and exchange his life for his own. Unfortunately, before his expression of relief could completely spread, the Scarlet Abyss swordlight didn't stop at all. It swept past Heavenly Lord Shuai's head with incomparable decisiveness. Under his shocked gaze, it directly beheaded him. The spreading energy waves wrapped around his entire body in the next second, burning him to ashes. This dignified divine sage trusted his own judgment and did not even have time to use the teleportation technique. He became the first divine sage to fall on the Karma Peak battlefield. No. Seeing this scene, the heavenly monarch Shangshan's eyes were about to split open as he let out an unwilling roar. His eyes were filled with pain. The power of the void shock wave seemed to have sensed its master's grief and instantly wrapped around the culprit's body, crushing him into powder. Perishing together. Tsing Hui's choice was to perish together. This result not only stunned the heavenly monarch Heartless and the Stygian River Holy Man, but also the heavenly monarch Virtuous Cloud and the heavenly monarch Shangshan of the Divine Tao sect. This was like a peerless genius who was destined to climb to the peak of the world with unlimited potential. Just because his seniors were in danger, and he wasn't even at the end of his rope, he directly started a life and death battle with the enemy. He didn't care about his own life at all. It didn't conform to common sense, however, the heavenly monarch Heartless reacted extremely quickly. In an instant, he thought of something and suddenly exclaimed, "Backtracking technique. Backtracking technique. It's backtracking technique. The backtracking technique that the Son of Chaos has at level 40. Everyone, be careful." Almost at the same moment the heavenly monarch Heartless exclaimed, Tsing Hui, who had been reduced to ashes by the heavenly monarch Shangshan's void shock wave, suddenly appeared. He did not seem to be affected at all. Moreover, while everyone was stunned and the heavenly monarch Shangshan was still grieving, Tsing Hui's body was like a stream of light. The dazzling and blazing power of the deep scarlet sword, which belonged to the sword of sunlight, erupted once again. Sunlight. This sword was like a nuclear bomb that had been thrown into the ground. It exploded with dazzling light and heat, and the power of the explosion instantly annihilated the heavenly monarch Shangshan's domain power. Heavenly monarch Shangshan, be careful. The heavenly monarch Heartless roared, and the love destroyer condensed and slashed out once again. This special magical power that was integrated with the law of space was unbelievably fast and strange. Even his attacking method could not be described as speed. It was a bit similar to the Torch Dragon talent backlight strike that Tsing Hui had previously awakened. It was a talent that would hit the target as soon as the sword was drawn in the eyes of others. However, compared to the backlight strike that had the obvious flaw of having a spiritual value limitation, the heavenly monarch Heartless Love Destroyer was obviously more mysterious and obscure. Even though Tsing Hui had taken the initiative to attack the heavenly monarch Shangshan, his attack arrived first, forcing Tsing Hui, who did not have the backtracking technique, to have no choice but to dodge. And in this short delay, the heavenly monarch Shangshan, who was grieving, had already recovered from his shock. Flowing light circulated on his body, and he had already summoned a defensive treasure, brazenly blocking the sunlight sword that Tsing Hui had slashed out. What a pity! Amidst the dissipating flames and scorching heat, Tsing Hui sighed regretfully. After that, his body and sword became one. Like a streak of bright flowing light, he escaped from the gap formed by the death of the heavenly monarch of water virtue and the retreat of the Styx River Holy Man, and escaped from the encirclement of the 4 holy sages. And once he escaped from the encirclement, the flying speed and reaction speed of his chasing light were unleashed. The remaining Styx River Holy Man, the heavenly monarch Heartless, the heavenly monarch Shangshan and the virtuous Cloud Holy Man had to concentrate to keep up with his speed, much less attack him together like they did at the beginning. This speed. Even compared to those immortal void stage cultivators who can penetrate void space, he is not much inferior. Relying on this speed, as long as he is not surrounded, he is undefeatable among those in the Grand Dominion realm. It's too fast. Furthermore, the power of his swordplay is too great. Any one of us can't restrain him. Just as we trapped him, he tore our domain apart and escaped. Furthermore, it's wishful thinking to think that 2 or even 3 of us can attack him at the same time. Ultimate powerhouse, this person truly possesses the powers of an ultimate powerhouse. The rumors are not false. In fact, he is even more frightening than the rumors. He is even more powerful than an ordinary ultimate powerhouse. The few holy sages' expressions turned ugly. I can't block it anymore. And at this point, the holy man also shouted. Following that, 2 streaks of sword radiance shot into the sky, causing the remaining 4 holy sages' expressions to change. They could not even deal with one Xinghui, what more the owner of the Qingying sword, that you're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.